doing his film
Are we live?
right now.
Bam!
Bam!
We got it live. I'm
me-
gonna hit on YouTube just to make sure it works. But we should probably start talking. It is live.
It is live. Okay, I'm gonna. Where's the link?
Oh, we're here. We're here.
We're here. Hello, all of that fun, wonderful stuff. We are in the midst of trying to get everything set up because Chase is here but not here.
Hey man, in respects to Tamatonga, we'll do this guerrilla style tonight and just make it happen. You know?
Man, wasn't that weird? Wasn't it like his departure? They made that feel bigger than Okada's departure. That was weird, right? Like,
I think there's a lot that we don't know about Okada leaving.
Oh, you think it's some management? And,
I think I think it's weird that he just magically was like, "I'm leaving." So,
and he also publicly saying he's never ever going.
Nah, that's not what he said.
You think that was lost translation?
That was a bad Google translation.
What he said was, "I'm leaving New Japan right now with the intention of not coming back. I don't know what the future holds." That's
right. Like he's leaving with the idea in his head, "Hey, I'm leaving with the idea that I'm not coming back," but it wasn't really like him not coming back because the interview that they took it from was him talking about Naito and that he had faith that Naito would be able to carry the company and this, that, and other.
All of the young dudes, everything they said about Okada, this is all like, I feel like this is all setting up for when he eventually comes back.
Or Forbidden Door. It could be
Forbidden Door,
yeah.
But okay, we're here. We're going to talk all sorts of stuff. Where is my list of stuff that we're going to talk about? Okay, so we'll have, because as you can see, Ricky Big Rat is here. He is the one of us that has not talked about Vince McMahon, so he can talk about Vince McMahon a little bit, and we can talk a little bit more about Vince McMahon because the story is really not going away. You can definitely tell because even on the TKO conference call today, the fact that it was brought up of people asking what Vince McMahon was going to do with his stock. So there's all of that. And then we're going to talk about John Cena, Randy Orton, their comments on Vince McMahon. We're going to talk about something that I thought about, which, do the wrestlers really think Vince is really gone? Do they think that or is it like last time, like Ronda Rousey said, that isn't really getting a lot of talk about, which is he's gone, but you have people there that are basically being his avatars and doing his wishes. We're going to talk about the Elimination Chamber and all of its wonderful glory. It's hour and 55 minutes of glory. People paying for the site fees for these cards. We're going to talk about Sting. We're going to talk about Revolution and the Observer Awards when we get to the end, if we haven't poured ourselves together. So, Ricky, take it. Tell us your thoughts on Vince McMahon and all of the wonderfulness that we have, that we now have we know about Vince McMahon now.
Yeah, we just found out, clearly. What an honor to be able to talk about this fucking guy again. I mean, the real sad thing about it is, the story, as you said, is not going away. Things keep coming out. And I do wonder how many times when you guys do this show, how many times is this going to open the show, like for the foreseeable future? Because you're going into WrestleMania season. You're going into potentially another awkward press conference moment with Paul Levesque coming up. Like, I just wonder how often this is going to keep happening, where we keep finding more and more horrible things that did come out. It's obviously heinous, obviously nothing surprising, but nonetheless heinous. And I do kind of just agree with everyone else that he's by far, it's very naive to think the story is contained to him, John Laurinaitis, and Brock Lesnar. Incredibly naive to believe that in any way. And I do want to say, I wouldn't mind transitioning to it also with the John Cena, Randy Orton thing. Like, I guess have a little more sympathy for some of those guys that have been there for a long time. Even if they did or didn't like Vince, this is not an easy thing to process. And sure, maybe they knew, like against their better judgment about Vince. But when you read a lot of books from these wrestlers, a lot of these guys, for better or for worse, they kind of view him as somewhat of a father figure in that company. And I think that's why it's hard for them to talk about it. Like, give credit to at least Seth Rollins, who's constantly criticized for being a mark and always defending the company. He actually kind of did come out and say, these allegations are heinous, it's terrible. Like, I feel really bad. It's really shitty. He was kind of the first wrestler to do that publicly. He did it at the kickoff press conference when they wouldn't let other people even interview wrestlers about it. So I do think that does deserve some credit for a guy who's always criticized on this topic. Whereas when Cena and Orton, Orton's was a little more understandable, just kind of rather than talking about the heinousness as a whole, kind of talking about his own hurt at what he discovered. I thought what Cena did was more indefensible because it's one thing if you privately want to be like, I can't just abandon someone that I love because they did something horrible, because we're all probably through life going to have people we know that do something heinous. That's one thing. And that's even one thing to say you want to privately help them out in some way. Using a public platform to say you're publicly sympathetic for him kind of lets him off the hook and makes him more sympathetic in the public eye. And Cena, with his influence and on the platform he did it on, I thought that was irresponsible. And I've seen no reason why he did that. I don't know how it benefits him to do that in any way. And I don't think it was a good thing to do in the public sphere when the general conversation should be discovering more about Janelle Grant's claims, discovering more about the Ashley Massaro stuff, not letting those stories die. And for him to use his public platform to advocate for that rather than doing it on his own private time, that's not defensible, even if it's understandable that guys that have been in the company for a long time probably have a hard time reconciling with this,
Yeah, I thought Orton's was understandably bad, is how I would say it, or just not
Understandably
sympathetic.
bad.
No, but I get like
Orton.
like when it's like somebody you know,
I know what
you
you're
know,
saying,
you say, but Cena's was just like, what are you hearing? What's coming out of your mouth? Like we all say stuff that we don't think about it, and you would think at some point he would say, hey, what am I saying? Oh, by the way, I'm saying this stuff, but just so you know, this is what he did. And I mean, Kevin Steen also was very, very, stern about what he thought. I think
I was proud of him, man.
You do have kind of, and I'm wondering if this is like the way that Sean Ross Sapp and Dave Meltzer and others have kind of not wanted to go at a lot of people in WWE over this. Is I think you have a generation of wrestlers now that maybe didn't see this. I don't think Cena and Orton would be in that. I think that people like that indie NXT generation, I don't think probably ever saw this to a large degree. I think probably most of it was, as far as the wrestler saw, wasn't there because you didn't have the divas like you did in the early 2000s. Right. They weren't necessarily Vince's type. All of these, we all know that. Mm-hmm. So you have all of that. I think that played a little bit in. There's the disconnect between people, but that's kind of why I brought up the thing. Do they think he's gone? Because you have that tweet that Ronda Rousey put out, which was when he was gone last time. You had people that were basically still doing his wishes. I don't think that's probably going on, but if you're in that company and you've been around that mentality of how powerful Vince McMahon is and what he can do and can't do, I wonder how many of them are still like, well, is Vince really, really gone? Or is he just not here and that and the other things? So that's my thoughts.
Can they afford to have him around, though?
No, go ahead, Brandon.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, but like, could you afford to have like a situation where, Dixie Carter emails the wrong Mike, and we found out that Vince Russo is still in TNA?
Right.
Like, could there be a situation where we find out that Vince is still somewhat in control? Like, could that jeopardize anything?
Could. I mean, I think you'd have more backlash. I think you'd have the sponsors like we saw with Slim Jim. I think you would have that kind of backlash because it was evident that they were like, no, something's got to be done type of thing. But I don't think.
I would say then also, what benefit would it be for him to be around? Like, what is he?
I think it's not so much benefit. I think it's more of you got, his people are still there. He still has people there. Not as many, but he still has people there. And how many of those people are still like doing what Vince wants to do and not so much what like Paul and other people want to do?
And I think that would be my question. Like, what would be the difference from what he wants being done versus what's being done now, what was being done in the previous time as well? So
yeah, because it doesn't benefit them at all to like actually have him like making decisions now, because most of that roster either has no reverence for him or they just flat out don't like him. So it really, like, I don't really understand like what they would gain out of that other than just to coddle him and to stop him from being what he could be, which is like fucking,
I mean, I think the the booking is boring right now, but it's still 1,000 times better than it was.
Oh, 100%.
When he was because at least now you're giving the fans what they want. It's just kind of
him
like
just booking for
instead of
himself,
looking
like he
against
used to.
the fans
Yeah.
and for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got guys. It's also just the way guys talk, like the way Drew and Cody in particular, like give their promos on Raw. They actually somewhat sound like reasonable human beings, rather than just like the generic like WWE speak that existed for so long. Because we know how heavily like those were over edited and overproduced and overscripted.
Oh my God.
And I'm not saying it's still good or still purely authentic, but it at least comes closer to that realm of like, not coincidentally, I think why Drew is kind of getting over again in a different way from what he's done the last few months.
You can tell the difference between who's like fully scripted and who has like a little bit of leeway to kind of do their own thing versus before everybody was just going off the script.
scripted. Yeah. Everybody, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they would freak out if they figured out like they would get a couple sentences in and they realized they were off script, even though they were still on script, but they were these aren't what I was supposed to say type of things. And I think that's it is kind of what it is. But that's and then I think a lot of people are also missing the point because a lot of people are like, why are we talking about all this stuff that happened like in the early 90s, late 80s? And I think a lot of people miss the point of that. When people bring that stuff up, what they're talking about is like how long the culture of all of that going on had been in the company. And, then you're not going to be able to just get rid of that with one guy, with getting rid of a couple of guys, or even a couple of people. Like you had, Fightful had a report that I thought was kind of funny because they were saying somebody high up, this is how they put it, they said a higher up in WWE said that one of the executives, that the unnamed executives in the lawsuit, hadn't been there in a long, long time. And it's like, this happened in 2021. So it's not, they hadn't been gone for a long, long time.
That could be a number of people.
Yes. And it's like, that's not a long, long time ago. They're not long gone. I think is that what they said, is they're long gone. It's like, whatever.
It's also trust for the current roster because like some guys know like who like the quote unquote Vince people are in that company that are still there. Like all the guys that in the booking and the producing side that he was with for years and years and years. I'm sure the current talent, even if they don't know the history of the WWE back in the day, they know who the Vince guys are. And if there's more reporting that the Vince guys are involved in other incidents that affects their relationship with the current roster because they're still there and the safety of the current talent as well. And I mean, it's also just justice for older victims too. Like Rita Chatterton gets a settlement last year for something that happened decades ago because it came back out, because it came back in the public circle and there was legal action involved. Like what if there's another story like that is uncovered so far? So digging into that past does matter. We can still do something about it.
This is like how, like people that think this is going to go away or people that want this to go away, I think are just very naive and don't. Like I think we said like when we did one of these and like he left the first time. I think one of the things that we all kind of said was that, well, this is all great and wonderful, but there's other stuff that's going on in this company too. We need that then. And I think we all said that this all needs to change because we all love pro wrestling and we should be beyond this now. Pro wrestling's a carny business for good and bad. This is one of the bad parts of it, and you need to like get rid of as much of this stuff as you can. You should have got rid of it a long time ago. So, it is kind of what it is. So,
well, he's definitely
this is all just
for sure.
This is all to me just like. Can y'all hear me? By the way,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is all to me just like really just exhausting. Because man, I'm like just I'm at work and they got me training, and it seems like every day I'm reading something more about Vince McMahon, and then you already know what's gonna happen. Like in like a couple weeks, maybe a month from now, who knows? This will all be quiet, and I just want people to keep like getting to what matters in this. Because even when it seems quiet, there's years and years of evidence and years of stories that we need to keep trying to uncover instead of just not talking about it like we did the first time. When he was gone the first time, it just disappeared. Like, oh, Vince isn't here anymore. That's good. But like with this, let's keep finding stuff. Let's keep, asking these questions and stuff. Even if there's nothing necessarily new, no matter how exhausted I am, this is a good thing. Right. Can we, because as soon as we start, rooting out all the dudes from that old regime, then maybe we can move on from all this shit. Because I've like the kid said, I feel like this goes deeper than the initial names we name, and also how many like sponsors and shit like that were like fed women by Vince McMahon, like motherfuckers that like have long time relationships with. See, I was thinking about this at work. A conspiracy theory just kicked off, but like how many like how long he's been in bed with some of these sponsors? How many times have they like some of the execs there have indulged in some of the WWE women that Vince McMahon is like yeah, man. I feel like it's because just how connected the WWE is in our pop culture and just our society, just all that stuff. You know what I mean? Vince is so connected to so many places, and so many people in so many high places know him, and they're in the same circles. Like, how deep does this really go, man?
I want to go back to the Cena thing because Voices have brought this up. The fact that Cena is such like you mentioned, Josh, like we say things without thinking, but Cena's always seemed like one of those calculated people who thinks before he speaks because everything is kind of on the line for what his brand is trying to be. But he doesn't go against the grain against Vince. He's in public.
He still don't bury him. Yeah, it's weird.
Right.
It's
in public, weird. He's not saying like he's even talking about it, not giving like a no comment or anything at all. Like he's giving his truthful opinion. That's very interesting to hear from a guy who, again, is so protective of his image as far as everything he does, as far as like Make-A-Wish and all that stuff. The fact that he won't go against Vince is very interesting.
It makes you wonder, like, what is he hiding, bro? Like,
well,
what,
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Look at his ex-wife. I mean, it's no secret that.
But even if you were hiding, why would you say anything? Why would you just?
I agree.
Man, that's so weird.
Like if I was him and I was WWE, I would be scared shitless that he says something that's going to piss her off, and then she's going to start talking about the things they don't want her talking about, which has always been rumored. So it's like, what, that's a whole different. And I think one of the other things that like. If people start really asking questions, especially like outside media people really start asking questions about like things within WWE, like what happens when, somebody just randomly, some reporter that doesn't really know and finds out and they're, it's what it is. He goes, that time we were stuck in Saudi Arabia, though, that wasn't very much fun. And then the reporter's like, what are you talking about? And then they tell them, and then they're like, wait, what? And that whole thing.
It was a nothing story. How was it a nothing story when that happened?
Yeah, I know. But you had people that were like, it's okay, nothing bad happened. It was like, what are you talking about? They were on the tarmac for
all
hours.
These dudes taking videos of them getting home and hugging their kids. And they
Yeah.
never do that when they go out of town. Like, why is it this specific time? It's just, man.
We talked about that for like a week, and that was it.
I know. Yeah. And then it was like, it's okay. And
and I do wonder, like, moving forward, like, because kind of like you guys are saying, like, they've been a public company for a long time. And clearly that had no bearing on them getting more scrutiny, more investigations from the Wall Street Journal, more, like, kind of policing of this heinous stuff that they've been hiding forever. I do wonder what happens now, because for all the criticisms of wrestling media that are largely deserved, they're also, like, more in bed with more media companies than ever before. Now with Netflix, with ESPN, with, like, a bunch of different networks. I do wonder, like, are we now in a world where, like you were saying, in 2019 that happens, no one cares? Are we now in a world where now people care more, and now what follows is a little different than what you would have been even 5 years ago?
Well,
if I'm like somewhere like ESPN or something, I'm trying to control my coverage because I'm so partnered. Like, unfortunately, that's how it is. I'm trying to control how this thing is covered because it's going to make us look bad too.
It'd be like them, how they cover the NBA, how they cover the NFL. It's the same. Like they hedge their bets a little bit. I would definitely say, and look at what Netflix's response was of, Vince is gone, so it's okay.
Yeah, that shit was weird. Like, that shit was
like okay, and you've got a documentary that's going to come out that probably now needs to be completely redone because of all this stuff coming out. So yeah, we're not going to stop talking about it. And I think that's one of the things, because I'm sure there's lots of people, like, I understand if you just want to like come on and you just want to review shows and you don't want to get into like backstage stuff and you just want to like talk about what you like. but at some point you have to like acknowledge at least what's going on. And
my thing is,
realize
if
that-
you want to do that, if you want to just review your shows and shit like that, don't talk about this company. Just don't talk about this company. Like, act like they don't exist, because it's impossible to just talk about these shows and shit without talking about this giant elephant in the room. That's just how I feel. But they won't do that, will they, Josh? They won't do that.
No.
They won't do that. No, sir. No,
But it's
sir.
all. So we're. That's. I guess we should talk about Elimination Chamber.
Man, do we hit like for real? Seriously, like, honestly, do we really have to, man?
Well, I want to talk because this was boring as shit.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
And the thing is, there wasn't. I didn't feel any of the matches were bad. I just felt they were boring. Nothing happening. Like maybe good matches.
I thought the women's chamber was kind of bad. I thought it was kind of bad, man.
I've got
Tiffany Stratton is awesome though, and I wish they understood how awesome this girl actually is, because she does that insane fucking dive and gets fucking rolled up immediately after. Like, bro, what the hell is this, man?
Like,
I mean, you gotta think they have some interest in kind of making her one of the top stars.
I mean, they're
maybe
exactly
not right now, but
she's fucking amazing though. Like, honestly, like,
I mean, given how long
I
she's
talk a
been
lot
doing
of
this,
shit about NXT, but yeah, she's amazing, man.
I would be kind of miffed if I was one of the women that had been in NXT longer than her, that are better than her, and got, you know, and haven't been brought up. But no, I thought the women's match was there. I thought it was maybe good. I don't know. It was I don't see how you can watch these shows live and not be bored off your ass because of all the downtime. 4 hours and 30 minutes, you got an hour and 55 minutes of matches.
Well, and it's not just that, like, you're not always getting wrestling on these shows. Like, you're getting like commercials. You're getting like advertisements for the local area showing like Australian soccer leagues and horses. And, you know, I get with the Saudis, it's like, that's the point. That's why you're here. You have to make us look good. That's literally the reason we brought you in. But like doing this in every international market you go to is incredibly exhausting. And it's not even like you're getting some back segment that is interesting. It is just flat out not what you're there for, not what you're there watching the pay-per-view for. And there's so much of it on every show.
It's. I wonder how many people.
I think it's smart they changed that name though. The pay-per-view to premium live event. So now you can't say that, oh, they're doing all this on a pay-per-view because I paid $50 for it. You didn't now. All you did was pay for the stream. You're watching a special episode of the WWE. It's actually kind of smart. I'm not gonna lie.
The Peacock Plus, whatever it is. Then you get all of like their video packages instead of the commercials, which that would annoy me too, because I don't need two. I don't need two of the exact same video package about the Elimination Chamber, how it works, the rules. I don't need two of those in a format show.
They killed me. WrestleMania last year on Saturday, they were showing promos, which I mean, I guess it makes sense, but showing promos for matches that weren't happening that night, they were happening the very next night. When you knew they were just going to replay it again the next day. So yeah, it's almost a gift and a curse when it comes to those new ads.
Right, and then you had people going, "Oh, well, this is fine because it's not like AEW pay-per-views where just too much stuff happens." And I'm like, "No, there's an in between."
What you're paying for? You're paying for stuff to happen. Like I want to watch a show and not feel like it's the same show I watch every week. That's the point of me buying the show. Like I want it to feel that way. Oh man.
Well, and then I think in this show especially, it was magnified because these chamber matches, you have these long entrances for every single competitor on top of the rules, on top of the package for WrestleMania. It's like you have to wait like a full episode of Rampage to actually get to the start of the match.
Yes.
Well, like people were saying on Twitter, is that they want to see those long entrances. Like that's part of the show for them. That's what they're there for. They're there to sing along. They're there like if I had been there, and that basic interview segment that was in the middle of the show,
oh god,
I would have been bored out of my mind because that was such a nothing thing. I get the fans, for singing along because this is the one chance they get and all of that stuff with the entrances and all of that. But no, the women's match I thought was what it was. I thought the tag match was pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, it was pretty good. What was after the tag match?
The Grayson Waller segment.
Yeah, because it was 55 minutes of nothing. And then you had the men's chamber, which I thought was pretty much nothing until near the end.
I'm glad we're on the same page because our buddy that's not here actually liked it like quite.
I know some people that like, and I can watch it and understand why some people would like that match, but I don't get it. I'm just like, what? This so just like,
and I hate to be a jerk because like, yeah, everybody knows it. I don't know if you guys don't know, but I don't watch this shit. But I don't understand what I don't understand because I know we all like what we like. That's fine. But how can people watch these matches and the crowd doesn't react to anything?
They don't care.
And they still go, that was an amazing match. Like, bro, these fans don't even care. It's not even like when the pandemic was going on in Japan and the fans were just clapping. Because at least the claps let me know that they're into this stuff. These people don't even care. They're doing stuff to silence until the finish happens.
Or the catchphrase. Or the
it's so weird. I'm like, and this company is hot. This is the company y'all keep telling me is hot. I mean, it is hot by their business, but this is the company that you all love right now. You sure don't act like it. It's really weird.
And I could even compare it like within the company because there's WWE fans out there that like always like the Elimination Chamber, the Rumble, the Money in the Bank. They've done like really good versions of those matches before. It's not out of their realm. But like in this men's chamber match, it's usually because there's plots of intrigue like within the match where feuds are being furthered and something is being elevated to another direction of a program, and then you get to your eliminations at the end. But in this one, I mean, that first half, before Logan Paul comes in, you got 4 faces and Drew. There's no real long-standing feud between any of them, and they're just exchanging moves. They're literally just doing hold, finisher, whatever, and then you get to Logan Paul coming in, and that gets reaction from the crowd. He has the feud with Kevin Owens. It actually furthers something. His involvement with the finish with Randy Orton actually furthers something. There's ways these matches have been good, even within WWE standards. But this one was just soulless. There was just no.
That's how the whole company is been. Soulless. I just described.
Wasn't the Elimination Chamber used to be like one of the violent matches? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
What happened? Like what?
It became a toy set. Yeah, so now they can be able to sell that Elimination Chamber.
That's why. Did you not know? Like, I hadn't watched one in so long. It took me a minute. I was like, wait a minute. When did they add mats to this thing?
The mats. Yeah. I caught that
mats. I said it's probably a good thing, but it didn't need to have mats. And so when they would do stuff out there on, even if it was just a basic move, it looked painful. You got it. Oh, that doesn't look fun at all. But yeah, like with the men's match, one of my bit was we had basically 2 screw jobs within the match, which it's like, why did we have to do 2 of these? And you flew AJ all the way out here to freaking
Australia,
other side of the world, Australia, and for him to do a run in and a chair shot. Why did we do this? Why couldn't he have had a match on all this downtime with somebody? You know, that kind of pissed me off after watching. I was like, what? But yeah, like you had that, and then of course you had the main event, which was just
some people love that match.
I thought it was good. I don't love it, but I thought it was
like I
enjoyed Rhea working from underneath. I thought she did a good job selling and really making Nia Jax's terrible offense look devastating. You know what I mean? I liked it. I've seen some people call it amazing and the best women's match of the year, and they're crazy. Yeah.
It wasn't that. It was like I thought Rhea made it good, just slightly good, but it was just like, I mean, it looked like an old school like monster, you know. And I get that they probably booked this to be that way, and that Nia to go against her, but now it looks like Nia is still going to be around in the freaking main event scene anyways, which makes no sense to me. It should be like, okay, we used you because you're probably one of the few people that we can put in the ring with Rhea, and it's okay that you get boos and she gets, you know, like cheers, and she doesn't have to because she's going to play face anyways because we're in Australia. That's cool. But I watched this show and I was just amazed. And one of the things that really kind of like got me was, especially watching the women's match, is I watched how that whole thing played out. And the report that we heard was that Jade Cargill was supposed to be in this match. And they said, nah, we're not going to do that. Either because we don't think she's ready yet, which I think is so weird, or they didn't want to beat her. And I'm like, okay, we all knew who was going to win. That was the thing. We all knew who was going to win.
Both matches.
We all of us watched the Royal Rumble. We saw the reaction that happened when you had Jade and Bianca square up. That was like one of the few things on that whole show that got an actual reaction out of the. So I do not understand why you would put Jade in that match. And you can make Jade look super strong. You knew what you were going to do with Nia. So even at the Royal Rumble, you could have had Nia come in early, just eliminate as many of the geeks as she could. And then at some point you have Jade come out, do the exact same thing where she eliminates Nia. And then you have Jade eliminate all the geeks at the end of the match. You could have booked it the finish the exact same way, then had Jade in this match. You could have Jade start with Becky. You're going to tell me Becky can't get 5 minutes out of Jade Cargill? That's ridiculous. That's probably right now arguably your best wrestler.
You're right, because even if you're absolutely right, because you could still do the Nia match, and then you could do something with Jade and Bianca in the chamber, because that's what people wanted to see. Oh my God, John! Well, I didn't even think about that.
So you telling me that Becky can get 5 minutes out of Jade? Jade, like, Becky is good. She can get 5 minutes out of Jade. We saw Chris Statlander get more than 5 minutes out of Jade, and Becky is far much better in the ring than Statlander is. So I don't understand why what the mentality is there. And then you could have had, Tiffany Stratton come out. You could have had who else was in it? Naomi come to the match, and what's her name? The other girl, I can't think of her name. Liv Morgan. You could have had Jade and all of them look like a complete freaking monster. You come down to Jade, Bianca, and Becky, and you have somehow Bianca cost Jade the match, pin Jade, then Jade gets pissed, basically knocks Bianca out, costs Bianca the match, and then Becky can win. And then you have a main event, because why in God's name do you have Jade Cargill on this roster and you're not going to have her having a WrestleMania entrance? That's like ridiculous to me.
That's the whole point. You signed somebody like Jade Cargill for her to do what she did at Double or Nothing in that dome. Like, what? Bro. Oh, now, man, I didn't think about this now, man. Oh my God. Like, look. We all know Jade Cargill is very limited in the ring. We know that. But the one thing that she has more than maybe anybody in all of pro wrestling is aura.
Presence.
Like you see this woman and you go, yo, this is a special human being. You know what I mean? And this is like the moment where, like, you always talk about the fucking casual fan. This is the moment where you put her in front of that crowd with all the fanfare that is WrestleMania. And you think that wouldn't be everywhere. Like, I'm talking about social media, on the new, everywhere. This woman doing whatever she would do. Oh my God, I'm so mad now. I did not think about that. Oh,
and I would have her and Bianca at WrestleMania. I would have her beat Bianca, because you can have her beat Bianca. Bianca would be fine.
Or maybe even do something where they end up teaming or something like that. Just have them interact.
Right.
Just have them interact. Oh my God, bro.
I don't understand this. I don't get it. Like, she's not that horrible. She's not that bad.
Not.
She's not
better
that bad.
Look, she's a Kira Hokuto compared to Nia Jax. Like, what are we doing, bro? Like, what are we doing?
Like, I don't get it. Man. Like, she had completely okay to good matches in AEW with people who are not as good as people at the top of the WWE roster in the women. You can't tell me you can't insert Jade into the top of that card and tell the women, hey, we're putting her here. You're going to have to carry her when you're in the matches with her, but this will be better for everybody. And it would. That's how you book. That's what you do. That's what you do. I do not get this. I watched that women's chamber and I was like, I was already mad about it because I was like, this makes no sense to me. And I heard people say, well, they want to save her to after Mania because they'll have to beat her here. Who cares?
But
You
why?
can pin somebody and still
why
make
do
them
they
look
wanna-
like a.
Why
It's
wouldn't
fine.
you display
It's
her
fine.
right
People
now
losing is okay.
where they have the biggest audience? Dwayne is in the company.
Yeah.
Cody is white hot. Like, why wouldn't you have her right now where the most eyes are on the product? Not saying that they're gonna go down after Mania, but it's more probably likely they're gonna lose out on like these
It happens
quote
every
unquote
year.
casual
It
fans.
happens every
So
year.
why wouldn't you present her as best as possible during this time period?
You actually might have had like some drama, in that match itself too. Like with every spot that Jade does, like comes off a little more meaningful versus
It's not because she plays into it. I mean, here's the thing: she is not good in the ring.
Sure.
Everything else, when it comes to Jade, is next level except for her promo.
Man, I wish she could wrestle. That's how annoying it is. If she could wrestle, she could be like maybe one of the biggest stars. Like this whole stupid thing has ever seen.
Yeah, like
ever.
men or woman, she would be like huge.
And you could have had her come out last in the chamber like they did with Logan Paul, like set up like the power spots that take advantage of the weaponry of the chamber to like make her look good. It could have been a strong debut,
Right, you could do that too. Like you could literally have her in the chamber doing the same because she would. There is no doubt in my mind if you had her basically in that Logan Paul spot, she'd have been doing the same type of shit, just a different way. She would have been like, every time that the little buzzer went off, you could have had a thing on Jade and being like, "Oh, you're lucky, I'm not coming out now. Oh, lucky, I'm not coming out now." And then she comes out and she just starts destroying everything. You could do that too. There's ways to book her, even if she is not good, because she is Goldberg to like the nth degree. Because Goldberg was very limited, but she's better on the mic than Goldberg was for a long time. Goldberg was not good on the mic. He had intensity, but that was about it. She has even more presence than he did. It's a different type of presence, but she has a presence that you don't get almost at all. I don't understand.
I hate to sound misogynistic, but all of us want her, and all the women want to be like her. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I hate to sound old school, but it's true. It's true, man.
Do you think that they're just anal when it comes to the like AEW guys specifically? Because I do think like they like have it in their heads that there's got to be a way they present the AEW talent, like to make it crystal clear that they're better off here than they were in the other place. And maybe that is like clearly everything they've done has shown that. So maybe that's like messing with them of like, I don't want Jade to lose in chamber. No matter how awesome it looks, no matter how great we present it, we're just terrified of that because we're trying to prove a point to get everyone to come here.
But it would fit the story of, like I said, you can have Bianca pin her and then her attack Bianca like right away, like a flash pin. She gets up, she gets the better of Bianca. And then you have, and if you go, well, you can't really do a feud because, she's not that great in the ring and you'll be exposing. I said, put her in tags. Put her in tags from now till Mania.
Look,
then you have that match.
They ain't even got a feud. Just have them tag together. You ain't doing nothing with Bianca anyway. Just have them. Who's the dorky ass fucking women's tag champ? Who's the fucking women's tag champions? Who cares? Give them those. Like
Asuka and Rio, I think. I mean, Asuka and
who gives a shit, man? Just give them those. Come on, man. What are we
like doing? I said, you've got like it really. It's like I don't get this mentality because you have women in that company who can carry Jade to a good match. Jade doesn't need to be going for 15-minute matches anyways. 10 minutes, that's good. That's all you need.
They'll do what Tony Khan what they're supposed to. They're supposed to do what Tony Khan should have did. Just highlight what she does well. And that was the biggest issue because Tony just had her go out there and, hey, this is how you learn how to wrestle. And
well, I think she will get. I think if they have her on the road in the because she lives in Florida, so down in the performance center and at least getting reps, I think she'll get better. I don't think she's like the dirt worst. She's just not good. But there's a lot of women on that roster.
That's way worse than her. That's way worse than her, man.
So I don't
look like Jade Cargill. I'd say that.
Like I said, the thing to me is you saw the reaction at Royal Rumble. Any plans you had from Bianca and Jade at that point needed to go out the window and be like, oh, this is like the biggest reaction of anything except for Cody on this show. We need to change whatever plans.
We need y'all to do something together. We need y'all two together. It's just that simple.
And before we go to the better pay-per-view, ideally, and, I mean, I think AEW can have their worst pay-per-view this week and it'll still be better than the show. Do y'all like the Cody thing? I do want to talk about that because for the Cody like Rock stuff, where it seems like whatever the hell the Rock is doing with them on Saturday, I think all the stories that are coming out about the booking behind the Cody program at Mania are either fed by WWE or inaccurate because a lot of it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense to me that Roman Rock was clearly the plan, but Punk Rollins was clearly the plan, and they were going to have Cody win the Rumble but not be in either WrestleMania title match. I just can't conceive of that. So I think that, just my opinion, I think that Hunter and The Rock and the way WWE is kind of presenting this, I think there's like, they are kind of like trying to get the fans to think one thing and then changing things behind the scenes constantly. Because I think this whole Cody booking of that Grayson Waller segment, now we're gonna have a Cody Rock singles match. Is that actually what's happening, or is that just something that's said that we're supposed to forget about?
I guess we'll find out Friday about what's, I mean,
the Rock's body will spontaneously combust if he tries to go fucking one-on-one with Cody for longer than 5 minutes, bro. I don't think he can. I don't think he can hold it up, honestly. I don't think he can.
So you think he'll just eventually transition to like the heels chickening out and like asking for a tag instead or something like that?
It's gotta be, bro. Could you want to see The Rock try and do a singles match with Cody Rhodes?
I do. Why not? What's it to me? I want to see that. Absolutely.
Oh man.
But I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying. It would probably not be beneficial for the fan or for Dwayne to do it either, especially in the shape he's in right now. I mean, good shape, but he's old.
He's old and probably
he's
heavy.
not in wrestling shape. He's not in in-ring shape at all.
Do y'all still think that Roman's winning?
It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me. Let me put it that way.
There's no way.
I think the only way any of this makes any sense is that Rock turns on Roman at Mania. You get Rock Roman next year, and then they finally end the Roman title run. That's what it seems like.
Man, I hope to God Roman wins. I need him to win. I need that to happen. I need to be on Twitter that night it happens. I need to be there.
Oh, I wish at work I could have had my phone out last year. when at work, when all these people at work found out that he lost. Just, oh my God. It was just like, people were mad. And I was just like,
the lamest finish ever.
I was just like
the lamest finish.
I just, like Cody. Oh my God! Could y'all imagine this story that they're telling? You change absolutely nothing, right? But imagine Cody as the champ.
Right.
Imagine Jey Uso turning on Roman Reigns, all that stuff with Jey. Imagine everything happening, but Roman Reigns now losing his mind because his grip on the WWE is starting to slip. That is a way more compelling story than whatever the hell they're doing. I would actually watch if that was the story. I would watch without y'all telling me to watch if that was the story, honestly, because that's an amazing story to tell. But
that's the story they should have been telling last year.
Yeah. Like Cody should have won, and then this motherfucker should have been paranoid ever since. Like,
I mean,
you guys aren't listening to me. That's what should have happened.
We all watched Mania last year without anything to do with this, just because we naturally all watched it. So you had a chance. You had a chance to be like, "Hey, we're gonna go in this direction," and they completely, just lost the narrative. I think it was just not good. What do you guys? Okay, so what do you guys think about the fact that we've now had that, Elimination Chamber was paid for by the Western Australian government, or somebody in the government paid for it. Site fees. That's without a doubt the future, because the same thing happened in California. You think at some point they have to put on better shows, though, if they're gonna, or do you think that they just don't care?
I mean, until those people stop paying them, what do they gotta do?
It doesn't matter, man. They're hot.
It was good to somebody. These shows were good to somebody. It just may not be for us, but
you've been on Cage Match.
Right, I just looked 7.5.
It's crazy, bro. Crazy.
The argument people were saying, "Oh, who cares? It was 55 minutes between the matches. The fans love the talk show." Like,
these are fans that
stop playing.
I was like these are fans that get a show once a year, or once, not even a year. They get once, who knows when. Australia gets, I think, a tour once a year. It was a big show. It was a pay-per-view. Of course, they're going to be hyped. That's not, I mean,
they're just glad to see their people they watch on TV. They're just happy to see them.
I mean, and be able to do the things that they don't get to do on a normal basis. So, but this is a TKO deal. So I wouldn't be shocked if they go back.
Imagine if they tried to pull that segment in New York City. Imagine that.
Imagine that whole show in New York City.
Well, I mean, for these markets, like how often, like the Puerto Rico thing, I think that was last year, where it was like they hadn't had a pay-per-view since 2005. Well, now they had one, 8 months ago, 9 months ago, 10 months ago. And I know the thing is they're going to be changing the international sites, like to try to get that first-time exposure as often as they can. But it does kind of seem like I just don't know how often you can go through that cycle before you eventually run into the problem where either what you have on top is not good enough or the city fever, like especially in those Europe areas where a lot of those fans cross travel between European countries anyways. I can totally see a world where it kind of loses its newness. And especially when you're not, like, we're in Mania season right now. When you're post Mania season, it's very different. Like I would think at some point it would expire in interest, just maybe not right now. Maybe not Germany, but after that.
Like I just found it interesting. Like, they're going to get paid, so it doesn't matter. It's the way it is. So UFC's
been their calling card for like 6 years at this point. Yeah. They're getting paid. What's it matter?
Yeah, it's like what are you gonna do? Let's see. I guess we should talk about. I wish Chase was here, but I guess we should talk about Sting. And Sting is finally saying bye, not bye the way Daniel Bryan is going to say.
Wow, why do you do that all the time?
I know I do.
All the time.
You know why I do that? You know why I do that? I do that because that's what my wife calls him, and I'm like, don't call him that, because then I call him that. And with the freaking thing behind
it's very icky. It's like seeing someone write Ric Flair with the K at the end. Like it pisses me off. Like to no beyond. It's the same thing with Daniel Bryan.
And can we all please thank Tony Khan? I said this on Twitter, but can we all thank Tony Khan for giving Sting a real send off instead of whatever that was WWE did? Can we please? I mean, I know he got hurt, but still, they didn't treat him like a legend. They just treated him like, oh, it's Sting and he's here, and we're not going to give you anything you want with him.
All right, so somebody brought this up to me, and I hope this doesn't happen. But so this guy I work with, he's in the wrestling too. He's actually going to that show as well. Like he's in Greensboro right now. Like he's gonna be there till Wednesday next week because he took this whole week off. But he was like, "What happens if Muta shows up?" I'm like, "Man, shut up, man." He said, "What if he shows up and helps Sting? You wouldn't like."
Don't let him take the spotlight. No, don't let Muta take the spotlight from somebody else again.
He'll show up whatever they're going to do next week. Whatever thing they're probably going to, that'll probably be the
because they'll probably have some sort of ceremony for him.
Well, but they said that this is the last Dynamite for Sting. So what are they going to do the following week?
They said.
Because I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, they're going to do the Ric Flair thing where they have everyone come out on Dynamite. But he said this is the last appearance for Sting's
final Dynamite. Right. That's what they're billing it as. Yeah. So
and maybe they'll fly him out and be like,
God, I hope not. Tired of this man, but I just want to throw that out there because he brought that up, and I was like, man, oh my god, not again! I thought I was free of this man.
Well, if he's in the mood to get up, it's harder for him to be like, It's hard.
I don't want to see him anymore, John, ever again. Don't this man.
Okay, but the Sting Darby stuff, at the very least, I think what makes it cool that they can do it this way is that they're not just doing it because he's retiring. Let's put this team together. Let's put this little program together with the Bucks. They've been building Darby and Sting as a team for years. So it actually means something that they
beautiful.
Yeah, they cared about their legend before he was doing his send-off. They actually treated him with respect first, and now it means something, and now it's a worthy pay-per-view main event.
And they did a good job of straddling the line where he does not seem over-pushed, but he seems important. You know what I mean? If this was TNA, Sting would be the champion. You know what I mean? Hell, he was. You know what I mean? But yeah, so they did a good job because Sting. This all feels important. Them being the champs feel important. Sting defending this title. You think they'll close with it, right? You think they're gonna close?
I think they'll close with it.
I think so too. Yeah,
because the three-way is going to be some sort of screwy thing. So they'll close with this. Now, here's the question: do you have them win, or who do you have win the match?
There's a question you asked.
Okay, all right. So me and my girlfriend was talking about this because she said she thinks that Sting and Darby should win, and then they should just vacate the titles. Darby should vacate the titles the next night or on Wednesday on Dynamite. I don't know. I think Sting will want to go out on his back. I really do. I think because he hasn't lost like the whole time. I think he wants to get in.
The Bucks let him do that though.
Yeah, like
that's not true. I mean, that's
this ain't your night, Sting. As much as it is your night, this ain't your night. You gotta win.
You gotta win.
Yeah.
I think it's perfectly set up for the Bucks to win, and this sets up like their persona in AEW being even more obnoxious. They're not only the EVPs, they freaking ended Sting's career. And then they, I think, would hold those belts actually for a little while, longer than people might think. And then it'll set up to someone else beating them, and you transfer the energy from Sting's retirement to the Bucks heel reign.
If you have them beat, is that set up somewhere down the line, the Bucks and Edge and Christian?
I mean, I think that's eventually going to happen.
Man, you can never look after everything that's happened with Edge and Christian in AEW. They can never get together, bro.
No, come on. You know that's going to happen.
No, that's not happening.
You know that's going to happen.
Don't do it, Tony. Don't do it.
I think this is
my favorite story in the whole company.
I think they'll lead to it. I think they will. I think both of them know that they have to there has to be a reason, and the reason has to be, which I could see the Bucks beating Sting in some way being maybe the thing that triggers Christian in some way, and that's where it starts. I don't think you do it right away. I think you do it maybe all in. Maybe
they say Wembley in the chat. Yeah.
Well, and also it's I think Edge.
Man, I don't ever want to see that, man. Just make them hate each other their entire run of AEW.
But how much longer does Edge have? I imagine he's still. I think he did say on the record he still wants to do those tag matches with the Bucks and FTR. So, how long can you push it? Whereas if you turn, but I do agree with Josh. Christian would probably have to turn. You can't do it the other way, and then I think it makes it easier.
But it'll be interesting. It'll be. That's my interest. That's the interesting thing, I think. But I will say, I think Revolution has probably been maybe the best built pay-per-view that I can remember from AEW and forever and forever. It's the I'll get that when we talk about. Well, I'll talk about that.
This is probably the most hyped I've been for now, not just because I'm going, but in general for one of their shows since Danielson MJF last year. Just to see, since that probably, honestly, they've done a good job building all this.
Yeah.
This is consistently their best pay-per-view product.
Yeah,
they always Revolution pretty much always hits, other than the pandemic one with the goofy ending. Even then, it wasn't a horrible show.
Right.
But
it just fell flat.
Right.
Had that flat finish. So.
Oh, you're talking about the exploding barbed wire?
Yeah. Yeah. And that would have been so.
I want them to try it again, though. Try it again. When they do another stadium show, try it again. Open the roof, do real explosions. Let's go, Onita Funk, man. Do it again. Try it again. It'll work.
Because that match was I really liked that match up until
the finish. I was with it until the end. I was like, oh man, oh here it comes. Oh God, man.
Anyway,
should we preview the card really quickly?
Yeah, let's preview the card. You got it up?
Yeah, I got it here. Archer, Hobbs, and Wardlow for the Meat Madness match.
I mean, other than the name of the match, I think that match will be amazing.
Meat Madness.
They had an organic, fun thing with Hobbs and Miro at All Out that got that reaction and got that theme. And this is just an example of us just taking it too far. It was fun in that moment in time. And now it's we're over glamorizing it, making it too corny. I prefer without it. But
what does Lanza call it? The subtlety hammer?
Yeah, the
subtlety.
Where's Miro?
I don't know.
I don't want him, but I'm just curious where he's at. Why is he not in
they
this match?
said that I think he's still dealing with stuff.
Oh, that's right. Hold on.
Dealing with what?
His wife has some shit going on, right?
Yeah, his wife has some because the match.
I don't want to
like,
be a jerk. I'm not gonna do that.
Like she had to go. Like she was in the hospital.
I remember.
So
I
think
remember.
there's still all of that. So
you know, and obviously, you know, I'm not wishing her anything ill, but very, very convenient that someone who has a lot of problems with AEW management, your wife's still recovering, bro. Come on, I'm not saying he's not telling the truth, but if he wasn't,
just let him go.
Would
just
you be surprised? Exactly. I'm so tired of him, Malachi, Buddy Matthews. Goodbye. Just
Andrade when he was there.
Andrade got out of there.
If y'all don't want to be here, then go back to the WWE and let them.
But Tony won't let them. That's the problem.
That's the thing. Like
he needs to. He needs to. Honestly, he needs to. Because honestly, you don't even need Malachi no more. Because Julia Hart and Brody King are the act. Let him go. You know what I mean? You don't even need him. And Buddy Matthews, same deal.
They got a bunch of
all these people
on the roster.
They can go.
What the weird thing about Miro is that Miro came well before all those guys, or at least I guess with Malachi it's around the same time. But Miro was very pro AEW management publicly, like in 2020, 2021, like talking about how they kind of revitalized his career, and then the relationship kind of turned sour. I think
it's just because he sees himself at one level and they see him at another level, and I think he's got that.
I came from WWE mentality, so yeah.
So I should be at the top of the company. That's
right.
how you
yeah.
And like with Malachi and Buddy, I kind of get it because their significant others are there, and I understand. But y'all also got to be honest with yourselves. Like Malachi, they released you. They released you, Alistair. They come on. They released you, Buddy.
But his savior, Paul, is in charge now, and not the bad man. So now he can go back and he can be used correctly. Though I find that completely hilarious because it's very possible that he could go back and then Paul be let go. And then where's he at?
And then you're right back where you were.
Right.
Them not using you. Come
right.
on, man.
Paul gets let go. That'll be the time. That's when you release him. Like, okay, goodbye.
If I'm Tony, I would do that. You still want to go back?
You still How's your back feel now? How's your back feel now?
Y'all think Wardlow's winning, right? I mean, he's getting all this.
He's definitely winning.
All this promo.
Yeah. I mean, I figure I love Archer, but I figure Archer's there to take the pin. So
probably.
But I think
that's unfortunate, man. But
you know what?
I love Lance Archer, man.
I mean, I love him, but of the three guys, he's and he'll be fine. He'll take his pin.
He is the one of the dudes, and a lot of people. That can really benefit from this whole fucking quartet that Tony Khan and the guys from Rev Pro and Gato and them and Rocky and them are. Yeah, he can bounce everywhere under this umbrella, and if he's not big here in AEW or something, he can pop over to Mexico and maybe do some stuff. You know what I mean? He's definitely.
You don't think some viewers look at Archer and be like, "That's a base. Let's go."
Exactly. some of these crazy dudes at CMLL after watching Fantastica Mania, they definitely like, yo, yeah, this dude want some of that Archer.
Okay, what else we got?
You got FTR versus BCC, Claudio and Mox.
That'll be nuts. That'll be nuts.
Is there a gimmick or are they just?
No. Which they kind of felt like they were building up to something with their promos, but it's going to be a straight tag.
It's just going to be straight tag.
Which I prefer. Yeah. Any gimmicks,
especially since we got 2 3-ways. I'm fine with being a straight tag.
Either FTR with the hair. I can't remember his name. Either
Cash,
he's going to
Cash.
Yeah, Cash. Either Cash going to eat the pin or Claudio's going to eat the pin.
Yeah.
Cage versus Garcia for the TNT title.
I want Garcia to win.
I want Garcia to win. Cage doesn't need that title, and you can do. What I figure is going to happen is because we haven't seen Mr. Copeland. Is Copeland's going to show up at the pay-per-view and help Garcia win, and then Garcia gets his title. And
yeah, I want to be there for that. Yeah, let's do it. Absolutely, let's do it. I have to be honest. I gotta apologize, man. I was very, very critical Adam Copeland, and all this stuff. But this has been my favorite part of AEW. I can't believe it, bro. This is my favorite part of the show. I love it to death, man. Christian is so great. He is so great, man.
I think don't be surprised if, and I think people wouldn't like this, but it seems like something Tony would do, where you either have something screwy or some reason where Christian still retains, but then you do the switch like in a couple of weeks, like even on a Dynamite or so.
Well, they got Dynamite. They got Dynamite in Toronto in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I thought that would be the time that they're gonna have their next singles match. He's gonna do it on that show.
Because
I'd much rather them just have a grudge match and not a title match and let it go to Garcia personally.
Yeah, and it wouldn't shock me if he just like wins now, but like the feud is still very new, and they like to do this thing where we see title changes on Dynamite all the goddamn time. They really like to save special moments for TV too. So it just wouldn't surprise me if you do something screwy now, keep the feud going, and then Garcia wins like in Toronto or a few weeks. Not saying wait till Double or Nothing, but something like that where it happens.
Or do you have Christian win, and then you do the ladder match in Toronto?
No ladder matches, please.
I'm just saying.
Take a break.
With these two though, I might win it. With these two, I'm fine. I can't believe I'm saying that.
I mean, I just had that thought. I don't want to see a ladder. I'm sick of ladder matches too. There's other things you can do, but especially after we just saw freaking Sammy go nuts off that ladder.
Yeah, that was sick. Tony Storm versus Deonna Purrazzo.
I don't care. I don't
care. I just want Donna to win. That's all. I don't want.
But she's not really over though. But she's not over.
Dry. It's so dry on AEW TV. Like it's just there.
I like her, but she's just not. And granted, I don't think Tony is helping. I don't think Tony's gimmick is all that great. The fact that she won Best Gimmick is like blowing my mind.
I think
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, I think it was great like in 2023, and I think it's like a little bit like losing an edge every week on TV.
Oh yeah, the more I see it, the more we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I just want look, Mariah May. I'm a huge fan. Everybody knows me, knows that. I just want whatever happens with this whole Timeless Tony thing, that she comes out looking amazing after everything, because that's another person that is just star. You know what I mean? That's another one. So because if you look at her, it's very deceptive. Like if you look at her, she's just another one of these, chicks that grew up in the, idolizing Trish Stratus and stuff like that. And then you see her work and she's knocking people in the face and all that stuff. Like, okay, all right. Yeah, we'll talk more about her when we talk about the Observer Awards too. I'm a huge fan. So
Roderick Strong, Orange Cassidy for the
Roddy's got to win. Roddy's got to win. So
I don't think any of those I don't think any of those Kingdom guys are losing much anytime soon.
Yeah. Well, they shouldn't. You've got to start. They have to start winning now. So
do you push Orange after? Like, what do you do with Orange after that?
I don't know. Hopefully you push him this time. You could have did that last time,
but the injury stuff happened with Mox and Ray Phoenix. So Tony just let me go back to my workhorse who had it.
Yeah, but Mox they could have gone back to Mox, and then they just didn't. They just
didn't do it.
I think that they didn't want to. I don't know if they just don't want to.
So if we haven't gotten there yet, but if you have Danielson win, you have an Orange Danielson feud. We haven't seen it.
No, and Danielson has mentioned Orange a lot. Well, like he's always talking about all the guys. I've been in AEW for years, and there's still so many great guys I haven't fought yet, and he always mentions Cassidy every time.
And this is so perfect for Dan. Oh, you're not real. This goofy shit you're doing. Oh, that's perfect, bro. That's perfect.
Eddie Kingston, Bryan Danielson for the.
All right, okay, because I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. You know I'm rooting for Eddie, but Danielson should win. Like Eddie should win. I'd want Eddie to win, but Danielson should win, honestly.
Right. I agree with that. I think Eddie's done fine with the title, but I feel like Danielson should win because
there's a ceiling on that, because if Danielson wins these belts, he's probably gonna be traveling with these, defending them all over the world and stuff like that. I just don't think that happens with Eddie. You know what I mean? It's a good time.
It won't be as marquee with Eddie versus Danielson.
Right.
Well, So Marquine, we're gonna have Eddie a third Kingston. If I win, someone has to shake my hand match, and the handshake's not gonna happen for the third straight time. Going
Oh
back
yeah.
to
Oh yeah.
Claudio,
Yeah, I just thought about that.
Oh,
Jericho,
these
and
nerds.
Revolution. And now
Oh,
that's
again,
that'll be good.
again, there's no handshake.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I like it.
I think this is closer.
And maybe Eddie tells you all this Bryan Danielson guy, don't trust him either. Man, nah,
Right.
I don't think this kid knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Kid knows what I'm talking about.
Hey, AEW paid it off like 15 years later. Like,
Yep. we finally got that blow off.
and
We're
the
talking
handshake.
about the car. We're talking about your
Yeah, I know. That's why I called you a nerd. Talking about your car right now.
Hey,
Appreciate it.
Grand Slam, they opened the show with a resolution of a Chikara feud from 14 years ago.
That's
Don't
true.
blame us, Tony.
Only Tony Khan does shit like that, man. Only Tony Khan.
Takeshita versus Ospreay.
This is
Who
going to be the
fucking
best
knows?
match
I mean,
of the night.
Ospreay's got to win, but this match might be legit. Like, I feel sorry for every match going on after it.
It's going to be the
Roman
best
is a
match
better
of the night.
Yeah, this match is gonna rule. This, and I will say, like, I think why AEW feels special right now. It's not the same as Punk and Danielson coming in because it's obviously a very different thing. But the introduction of Ospreay, Mercedes, and Okada all at the same time, you're kind of feeling like this surge of like new interest in the product because all three of those guys are gonna have top level programs across the board. So I feel like you're kind of seeing this surge of a complete change in the scene from now to Double or Nothing to Forbidden Door that I think maybe not the same as the fall 2021 heights in terms of popularity, but in terms of the quality of the product, I think it's gonna be special.
This to me feels like okay, the surge in 2021 with Punk and Danielson and Adam Cole. This is like, oh, these are the guys that you grew up watching on TV that you like and blah blah blah. These are the people with Okada and Ospreay and Mercedes. Again, Mercedes is included in that, but like these are the people that all the smart wrestling fans know are incredible, and they've been telling you are incredible for years. And I'm going to show you these people. That's what this is, and I cannot wait, man. This is to me. This is the shit that makes AEW so intriguing. Not the fact that they try and serve every master. It's the fact that they don't care about serving every master.
Right.
They serve a master that they serve the people that don't usually get fed. Like we don't usually get fed. We never do. We never get a. You know what I'm saying? It was a cap on how much they were going to push Bryan Danielson in the WWE. There was a cap on how much CM Punk was going to get pushed. In AEW, Will Ospreay is probably going to be the biggest star in the company. You know what I mean?
They'll be changing in 2 months.
Yeah, like man, come on, man. I love it, man. He gets on my nerves, but goddamn it, Tony, you get on my nerves, man. But I love you. I love you.
A lot of traffic in that world title picture at this point. It's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna get. I mean, when Kenny comes back, it's just gonna be more.
This is why you also elevate those other titles too.
Yeah.
Just because, like it would be. Could you imagine, world title is like Ospreay and somebody, and like the continental title is like Okada and somebody. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why you
It's
elevate the other stuff.
It's a good reason to give Danielson the Continental title because you can do Danielson against like either Okada and Ospreay, and like no one would bat an eye. Like it would make perfect sense, and it would make that title a lot more important.
Like I love Eddie, man, but it's nah, no, man. Oh, it hurts.
Right
It hurts someone watch him lose, man. It hurts. It really does.
Hangman, Swerve, and Joe for the title.
If we get Hangman,
Joe has to win.
I mean, Joe's got to win. I don't think you can give. I don't want them to give it to Swerve and then Swerve have to do a program with Wardlow. That would that would not be good. I would much rather keep it on Joe. You can have Hangman somehow screw Swerve if Hangman's there. If not, then basically you have to do something different. But Joe should win, and then you can do Joe and Wardlow. Make that a TV feud. And
I was gonna say that's not gonna be like a pay. That should be a TV feud, right?
Yeah, that should be a TV feud. And see, I think that's how. Like the thing is, we don't know when Cole's gonna be back. I think that's probably what they're waiting for because I think you have Joe beat Wardlow, but I think you have Cole there, and somehow MJF costs. I think that's the last title that they need, that they feel like they want, and somehow MJF costs them the title. So
Man, that's the biggest. I love AEW right now, and that's the biggest like question mark. How is that fool gonna fit into all this great stuff they doing right now, man?
Hopefully he's watching and he's like,
yeah, I'll
okay,
say,
we
yeah.
can't do comedy hour stuff anymore.
All right,
It's got to be, we can't be doing, early 2000s WWE. We've got to be doing Crockett feuds. I've got to be Dusty. They've got to be the Horsemen in some fashion, and that's how we got to do it, because we can't do what we were doing before, because it's evident that that's not what these fans want. So we'll get into
Josh,
that.
I hope you're
We'll
right.
get into
I
that.
hope
We'll
you're
get,
right.
we'll get into that. We'll get into that here.
We'll get into that. The summer was pretty goddamn successful last I remember. Go ahead.
Oh my god!
And then we were talking about
we're gonna argue. I'm just letting you know, kid.
the tag title match, the Tornado Tag, Bucks and Darby versus Sting.
I think Sting and Darby are winning, and then they're gonna get rid of the titles, and then we're gonna do a tournament of some sort.
I think the whole reason the Bucks are doing this was to set up to winning this match. My opinion, that the feud, the way they change their personalities, all of it is to be the champions, be the authority champions, and like kind of run with that for a while. That's what I've always thought, but we'll see.
Could you do a C2 style tournament? Maybe spread a little bit across the shows more, because you can't. I don't think you can condense it like we got the C2 last year, but spread across some shows and maybe concluding at Double or Nothing or something like that. Do you think we can get something like that if they vacate the titles?
Yeah, that's exactly what I think.
I like that. I like that.
If you really want some fantasy booking, I would have Sting and Darby win. Then the Bucks be like, hey, we're the number one contenders. You're gonna vacate those titles. Give us those titles. And then Tony's like, no, we're gonna do a tournament. Whoever wins the tournament takes on Darby and whoever. And then I wouldn't do the Bucks for that. I would actually do the Kingdom versus. I would have them be the ones to take them on, and then Darby's partner is a devil, and you can have it either be one of the other pillars be the devil, and because you have Britt come back and basically keep like making pillar references during this whole thing with the Kingdom, and you have her with the Kingdom, and then at the pay-per-view you wrap up the whole thing with. That's where you start. You can bring MJF back, because we're gonna have that weird next pay-per-view is between now and Double or Nothing. So
wait, there's another one?
Yeah, there's gonna be one in between.
Why?
Because why not?
Because they get 100,000 buys every time they do it.
They're still selling pay-per-views at an insane rate.
I just don't want them to start doing too many, man. I don't want that to happen. I mean, I'm always nervous about that, man. We've seen it happen before.
I know.
Well, we saw a little bit of suffer when you have too much, because World's End wasn't all that great.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I hated it. I didn't really like that show.
Yeah. But now we've had space between shows and Revolution.
But I think part of the problem with World's End was also
culmination of the storyline nobody liked.
It is a strong word. I didn't like it.
The down matches on that show were just bad. That was the problem. They needed better. They needed better down matches, because there was some great stuff on there, but the bad was really bad. You had some good stuff, and then you had like a couple of great matches, and it just was a weird thing.
But to Brandon's point, generally, like you can kind of see from after All In last year, like All Out, Wrestle Dream, Full Gear, World's End, 4 pay-per-views in 3 months, and things like the way they were conducting the stories weren't the same. They weren't like setting things up to build on them a few weeks later. Aside from the Joe thing, like everything was a little chaotic. Like Swerve and Keith are fighting the week of the show, and then Keith's hurt. Guys are getting hurt. Like I do think Revolution, this 2-month window, maybe it's easier when Adam Cole gets hurt. You can actually figure something out rather than putting MJF in a handicap match against the Righteous. Because you don't really know what to do in the pay-per-views in 2 weeks.
So.
That's the show. Should be awesome. Can't wait to go.
It should be good stuff.
I'll be having my popcorn there.
Guaranteed to be a great show.
I expect it to be. I'm like, this says a lot. This just on paper, this could be the best AEW pay-per-view, and that's a high
We'll see.
ceiling.
Yeah,
I think that's why
I'll be there.
I think that's why World's End feels so bad, is because the ceiling for AEW pay-per-views is so ridiculously high. Like, I don't think people really think about it. Like you were saying, like the VOW guys say, but the Voice of Wrestling guys say this all the time. Like, almost every pay-per-view is like a contender for best pay-per-view of all time. Maybe not best big show of all time, but best pay-per-view of all time. Almost every single one of them.
And some of them are contenders for best big show of all time.
Yeah,
like some of them, man.
Like,
some
it's
of
ridiculous.
Like
How
are really, really great, man.
like it's Tony does a great job booking big shows. I think that's so when he misses, it feels like he really misses, even if it's not like if you go back and you really look at World's End, it's not a bad show. It's just okay. But that's such a big drop from what you normally get from AEW that it sticks out a lot.
The bar is here, man.
The bar is like way up here. So even when you're like down here, there's a big gap. So,
but I think to your point, the next few pay-per-views, like probably through Forbidden Door, maybe even All In, like it's gonna be wild. Like that bar might be raised. Like just given the time.
I expect this year's All In to be what everyone thought last year's All In is gonna be. I really do. I think they're gonna go.
Hey, look, the quartet is gonna be in full effect all in weekend. I'm telling you, like that show, you're gonna see CMLL at that show. You're gonna see New Japan. You're gonna see Rev Pro. You're gonna see all the AEW's guys. You're gonna see everything is gonna be at that show. Hell, Rossi O'Gara leaving start. You might see some of them girls on that show, man.
Who's ever left?
What do you do for? So then, what do you do for Forbidden Door?
What I said.
Just the same thing.
Same thing.
Me, I
We're
think
gonna have two Forbidden Door style shows.
I think Forbidden Door. I think that's why we're getting the Blackpool Combat Club CMLL stuff now. I think they're building that to Forbidden Door. I think Forbidden Door is going to be very CMLL heavy.
What about Double or Nothing Anarchy in the Arena? Like, seems like they're probably going to run the Anarchy in the Arena again, for better or worse.
We'll see when they're in an arena, Mexico. However that all plays out, we'll have a better idea of like exactly what we're getting.
I'm really curious on how that crowd's gonna react to the BCC.
It may be crazy. It might be like because that's a big show too. It's not like just a normal.
Oh yeah, that card is great. That card is crazy, man. This isn't just like some match that. This is a huge card.
Does anyone see where this Joe thing is going, by the way? That'll be my last AEW thing. Like, obviously, there's the Wardlow stuff. Like, how long is this going,
I would say if Danielson doesn't win here, I think Double or Nothing. I think you do Danielson and Joe. And then you have Danielson win, and then you have whatever his last stuff's going to be going into him retiring.
Yeah.
Him going to 10 matches a year.
Just hope they keep
all around the world.
So anybody got the awards brought up?
Oh shit, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, I can pull it up here.
I'm scared to touch my computer.
I got it.
Scared.
You got it?
I mean, you know who top ones are for sure.
But anyways, so what is everybody's like general thoughts before we get kind of
pretty
on
much,
the awards?
Pretty much in line.
Yeah, on the awards.
They're fine. Like I'm cool with almost all the winners except one, but I'm cool with almost all the winners.
I'm shocked people were like, "Oh, this is going to be like a big giant like thing." I'm like, it's pretty much who everyone thought was going to win, or who everyone wanted to win. One of the two, I think, for the most part.
I'm pleasantly surprised by one of them, though.
I will say, Will Ospreay had an insano year on these awards. All the awards he won this year, just I think, starts adding up to that Hall of Fame.
That's the one That's the one I'm pleasantly surprised. He won the Flair thing. So I was
know.
so happy to see that. I was like, because he fucking deserves it, man. Now I don't know. I don't know if he would have been my choice, but still, like he deserves it. It was cool to see.
Do you think
really cool
Cody and Roman hurt each other in that voting?
Yeah.
Do you think
they
some
definitely cannibalized each other? Absolutely.
cannibalized? Yeah.
If Cody had won at Mania and then Cody was defending the title on all those big
Right.
he probably would have won the award.
True.
But Roman had whatever it was, like 4 total matches. Like after Mania.
We'll get. I got a Roman rant later when we start going through these because there's
So
one.
you want to
There's
go
one.
from just the top down?
Yeah. Just go from the top down.
I mean, like you mentioned, Flair, Fez, that's Ospreay.
Yeah,
Ospreay, Cody, MJF, Roman, Danielson.
Yeah. I mean, to me, if you weren't going to give it to Ospreay, you needed to give it to Cody. That was, I mean,
wasn't my choice either. My choice was Mystico, man. Like,
well,
honestly,
yeah.
Sixth.
I mean,
you
CMLL is not going to do well.
Imagine him not on those shows though. On those
I know.
CMLL.
Oh, I agree. I mean, the fact that he got what did he come in 4th,
Sixth.
6th? I mean, he should have been on this list because that was a turnaround. CMLL's turnaround is a turnaround. That's like
think about 2022 CMLL. We came on this show and buried that shit. You know what I mean? And then the last show when we did our yearly wrap up, I called that my promotion of the year. So think about that.
Yeah,
completely different show in terms of business, in terms of quality, all that stuff. Volador and Rocky Romero was one of the best feuds all year. It was a really, really great year, honestly. The only company I could say that I thoroughly enjoyed from start to finish in 2020 is the only one I can say that about. So yeah.
Most outstanding, Ospreay, Danielson. Ospreay wins. Danielson, Omega, Sabre Jr., and Kento Miyahara.
I don't even see how anyone can debate Ospreay here.
Yeah, he had an insano in ring and did it everywhere. Didn't just do it in New Japan. He did it everywhere.
He had so many companies' best matches.
Yeah, he had the best match in Rev Pro, the best match in New Japan, the best match in AEW. Maybe, possibly.
I disagree.
That's what I said. Maybe.
Yeah. One of the best for sure.
One of the best TNA matches. Probably the Mike Bailey match was probably the best match that Impact had.
And
so,
Drew, that match Drew too. That was the.
And he probably has their match of the year this year as well.
Yeah.
Did Omega deserve this placing based on last year, or is this kind of a reputation thing?
Oh, it's definitely a reputation.
Yeah.
I mean, good that Danielson. All I want to say on the Danielson thing is it's kind of sad, and I know I'm not saying anything new here, but like Danielson, look what he did in 2023. Like all the big matches that he had, all the great things he was doing in the Continental Classic, the MJF match, the Zack Sabre Jr. match, so many great moments. And it's just so sad that he was in that other company for like 11 years. And just like, what did we miss out on? You know, this whole like, fuck, man.
I think about that every day, kid.
He's about to leave. He's about to leave.
All right, run in. What the fuck y'all even talking about?
Here's Jim. Oh no, that's just Chase. You're at
What
work right now?
talking about?
Are you at
We're
work?
talking about the awards.
Oh, I don't give a fuck about that.
We already.
He was gonna do that to no matter what we were talking about.
I know.
That was
I know.
pre-planned.
He's probably on his way. Like, what's the next?
So you said, kind of voting off reputation. Tag team of the year, FTR.
Oh,
Well, it was also a
this is one.
And then we
This
got
one
Owens and
pissed me
Zayn, Bushiman. I think this is the astronauts, right?
Yes.
Right.
No more.
Right.
We got, and then
They
the
should've
Young
won.
Bucks.
They should have
Yeah.
won.
That
The
was the
astronauts
best
should have
tag team
won,
ever.
but not enough people were going to vote for them because
I don't care, Josh. FTR just won because people were like, well, "Who's a good tag team?" That's
Right. Well, because it was a
crazy.
week. It was a weak year in tag teams. That's why. I mean, you had if Zayn and Owens hadn't broken up, they probably would have won. But
Then don't vote. Like if you don't vote. Like honestly, if we want to be real, we want to be just real. Because what are we going by? We're going by drawing or
we're
in-ring?
going
What are
by.
we doing?
This is like an everything. An everything.
Because I would argue that in terms of in ring, the Workhorsemen had a better year than FTR. If we want to do that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we really want to do that. Like, I love FTR, but I was like, man, this is totally I was so mad when I saw
That happens, though. That
I
happens.
was so mad, man.
That happens.
They didn't do anything last year. They did nothing.
It is hilarious that WWE, who generally did a lot better this year than they normally do in these awards, and they finally have like the tag team titles main event WrestleMania and have a tag team that holds the belts all year, and they still don't win this award because they fucked it up. They're that incompetent with tag teams that even this they still couldn't.
Why did they stop tagging? Why did
because they wanted to do their own.
Hold on, wait a goddamn second. I gotta intervene. Did nothing. Had the greatest fucking tag team match in television's history.
Not by themselves. Not by themselves. You might as well vote Switchblade. Might as well vote
Lot better
Switchblade.
than nothing.
Oh my god, man. Damn near nothing, man.
But yes,
But yes,
this was
he is right.
this was definitely a reputation award just because it was a weak year. But the Astronauts should have won. So
best on interviews: Eddie Kingston, MJF, Christian Cage, John Moxley, Cody
I'm gonna
Rhodes.
argue Eddie Kingston winning best on interviews.
It's funny that he didn't bury the awards after he finally won one. That was funny. But anyways,
This was a lock. Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
There's no other choice.
I mean, I'm fine with that. I mean, you could definitely argue Cody because he did probably the best interviews you could do in that company since probably Joe left within the confines of what they want interviews to be. So
It's fine.
Promotion of the year: WWE.
I don't think you can really argue it,
No.
except for CMLL.
What's the
Who's second? AEW.
AEW? AEW, New Japan, CMLL, UFC.
I mean, technically, UFC probably should have won.
I didn't even know they were still eligible for this award.
Yeah,
They won't separate MMA from.
yeah. For business awards, they don't separate.
It's about that time.
You got to
It's so
go
much
with
about
the
that
WWE,
time.
man.
Yeah.
In terms of fan response to the product, business.
They gave the fans what they want to see.
Yeah,
Got to go with them, man.
I mean, they're
I
hot.
don't
I mean,
like
this just. I mean, also, it was a down year for everybody else except for CMLL and them. So it's like, what do you get? You know, you can't really argue it.
Best weekly
I'm not
show
happy
goes
about
to
it.
Dynamite,
I mean, Dynamite, what? Dynamite Collision, and then
SmackDown, then CMLL, and then NXT.
NXT should not be on this list.
They're above Raw, Rampage, New Japan on Access, Impact, Stardom.
Yeah, we are Stardom as a nothing show. Like honestly, every week I don't even know why I got any votes at all.
But yeah, Dynamite.
Yeah, you got to go Dynamite by default.
I mean, I think next year it might not be Dynamite. Next year it might be Rampage,
Collision.
or not Rampage.
Collision,
Collision.
yeah. That's true.
I wish
Honestly,
New
it'll still
Japan
be Dynamite because that's still the most
Yeah, and that's like
prime
probably
show
the
they have.
default.
But I feel what you're saying. Like Collision is like on pace that they should win.
Yeah.
Match of the year: Omega Ospreay from the Dome, and then Omega Ospreay from Forbidden Door, Danielson and MJF, Adam Page, Swerve Strickland, and then as Chase said, FTR versus Juice Robinson.
Really?
I mean, those.
Switchblade.
Yeah.
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 I don't agree with that.
Those first four, I think you can just like rearrange them any way you want, and you'd be fine.
I mean, look, my number one is Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega from the Dome. I've watched that match so many times. I've shown that to so many people. It's one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. You know what I mean? So to me, it's one of those ones you can show to someone that doesn't even like pro wrestling, and they'll get something from it. Like I love that match. Yeah, never forget it.
But extra respect to MJF. I do agree that it was better. I don't think the rematch was better than MJF Danielson, but it's really cool that MJF Danielson's match was so good when, like, at the time, like, even as great as Danielson is, there was a lot of rigor and a lot of like a consternation on how they can execute something like that on a pay-per-view, 60 minutes, and for it to not just be good or great, but to be like that.
The
like,
greatest Iron Man match of all time.
Yeah, that is really cool to see.
I hate Iron Man matches. I hate them.
Yeah.
I do too.
I would
I do
much
too.
rather you just do 2 out of 3
60-minute
falls
draw.
and go for 60 minutes. That's
Even Cornette loved it. Cornette said it was a classic. He said it was an all-timer. Like it truly
I mean,
reached.
Cornette likes MJF and he likes Bryan Danielson. So
And I heard you,
it's the
kid.
other people.
Put some
It's
respect
other
on Bullet Club Gold and FTR. Though. I love that match, man.
Yeah.
Although I think
the first match is better.
you see what
The first match is better than what? The 2 out of 3 falls?
The 2 out of 3,
What?
the 2 out of 3
I don't know what
falls.
that
Yes.
is. I don't know what
The
that
first
is.
match is fucking awesome.
man. It is, but nah, bro. Nah. That
So-
the last fall, come on, man.
It was great. They're both great, but like, I mean, I thought it was just like a standard great match. Like I thought AEW probably had 4 matches
my
better
God.
than that last year. 5 maybe.
Oh, we were cool. I thought we were cool, man. I thought we were cool.
Well, was that better than Danielson MJF? No. Was it better than
No,
Danielson
absolutely
Zack Sabre Jr.? No, in my opinion.
You said Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr. I don't know.
Now I don't know, man. I hate to do
I don't-
this,
I
but
don't
now that I'm selling the second one, I
No.
might be.
Yeah.
I might say that tag match might be better than the first one. I don't know.
They're both.
I
great.
don't know. It's close. I don't know. That's a good look. We're talking about like all like great matches. We're talking about like rubies and diamonds and,
Yeah.
and gemstones. Like, it's fine.
Well, when Chase calls it the best TV tag match in history, then obviously I'm going to have to respond back.
That's where I was too when
Yeah,
I
I
saw
can't
it.
think
I
of
was
nothing
like,
else. Honestly,
I can't think of nothing else.
It was a great match. That's all. We can move on.
this is category B. MVP for U.S. Canada.
I mean,
Cody.
Yep, I'm fine with that.
Cody
No
Danielson,
argument for anyone
MJF,
else.
Roman Reigns. Number 6, Orange Cassidy. Wow.
because
That's pure in ring. That's not.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, he's also a ratings mover, man. His quarter hours pop. Like
one, and
people
he
watch him.
also. How about like matches too? Like how many matches did he wrestle in 2023 on Dynamite? Like 30 or
It
like
was a lot for sure.
there was
it was a
period where it
ton.
every week. Every week he would open the show every single week to a huge
I don't-
pop.
And was the one reliable great thing on the show every week.
I don't see
Just
how you
Orange
can
Cassidy.
put. I don't see how you can put Roman on this list. I just not there enough. The shows he's on sell out before the cards are even announced. So I don't.
You say you got something to say about Roman. We'll hear it soon.
Yeah, go ahead.
We'll see.
Josh.
No, we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Japanese MVP Will Ospreay, known Japanese
Yeah.
Absolutely.
professional
Yeah,
wrestler Will
absolutely.
Ospreay. Okada Naito.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I honorable mention to me for Katsuhiko Nakajima though. Like he, in terms of impact and helping a company draw money, he's like up there with all those dudes.
What did you think about Joe Lanza's saying that they should have gave it to Muto, Kenji Muto,
Oh, that's a.
Oh, yeah,
for the business that he did in the beginning of the year?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's just nobody's
I
going to
mean,
remember.
it hurts, but yeah. He's right.
That was a good point. Ospreay also won Europe MVP.
That's not
Yeah.
even close.
That's not even.
No, it wasn't close. Michael Oku came in
I
second.
get,
He
yeah,
was
Michael
awarded.
Oku is like the only other name that,
Yeah.
but it's not even. Yeah,
Mexico MVP Mystico.
That's
that's
a
not
no-brainer.
close either.
Yeah,
The only other person I would say is maybe Rocky Romero, Volador, maybe.
he's in third place over El Hijo de Vikingo.
See, I can't go there with Vikingo because of how like dire things are for AAA. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I can't
Now he's an
I can't really
MVP,
put him
right?
up there, Lance. Yeah.
He was number 1 for the non-heavyweight, the Hodge Award.
Yeah.
Vikingo.
Yeah. He's probably
Who else was on there?
Vikingo, Hiromu, Darby, Orange Cassidy, Mystico, Teton, Despy. Teton and Despy tied. Mike Bailey, Danielson, Rocky Romero.
Teton. Man, he had such a great year last year too. But yeah, I would go. I didn't even think about him for that. He'd probably honestly be like second or third for Mexico MVP. Honestly.
Yeah, I think Bailey should be higher on that list.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But
What?
he's in TNA and not pushed as hard as he should. So
Why did a question like is it? I guess it's just because he's bigger. But Ospreay wins this award in 2018 and 2019, but now what? He's like he doesn't qualify.
well, he
I mean,
doesn't
he
wrestle
bulked
that
up during the
Yeah.
pandemic.
Yeah,
So
he
it's just
doesn't really wrestle that
But is
style anymore.
Is there like a weight limit to this award
No.
then?
But you also got to remember he wasn't wrestling as a junior anymore either. Like he's been wrestling as a heavyweight. So
Yeah, he's definitely bigger than he was back then. Women's MVP is Rhea Ripley.
Fuck out of here with this shit.
Yeah, she's the biggest. She's the biggest woman star in. That's fine.
I mean, she don't do nothing, man. I don't
understand,
do that.
but
Look, I love Rhea, but she does nothing.
But she
does nothing.
She is a legitimate star.
They just headlined with her
in that company. So,
but she don't do nothing. Yeah, okay. MVP. Yeah. We talking about most valuable, right? Cool, fine, but come on.
Would you at least agree that she deserved it over anyone in AEW since they were all fucking all over the place the entire year?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
The only person close to AEW was Athena at number 3, and she didn't appear on AEW.
Yeah. Different company.
She was better. She was better. We talking about who's better. She was better.
Feud of the year: Owens and Zayn versus. This is the Bloodline. I guess it's everybody.
I'm not upset at that, honestly.
Yeah.
It drew a bunch of money, and those fans still talk about it. So
and that main event was awesome for WrestleMania. Yeah. That was
the Owens and Zayn program is what got like the Bloodline to be like super popular. Going back to War Games the year prior, like Cody is gonna maybe historically be remembered as like the face of the story long term, but he kind of got in when it was already hot, when those guys kind of did a lot of the work to set it up. So, like, truly, like, for all the success they had,
because it was stale before those two got involved.
Absolutely.
That's the story a lot of people won't tell. Before Sami Zayn got involved with them and the Kevin Owens thing, that shit was stale. Like nobody really cared all that much, man. But
that's what got them hot. I mean, like at least like that part is correlated with when they started like those PLEs as well. But nonetheless, that's really when you kind of had those big shows. The Sami Zayn Roman thing was obviously super hot too before Mania. Has all those elements.
Dave gave best box office draw to Roman Reigns.
Fuck that. Fuck that.
That's the one. Just wait on.
Cody should have won this. There's no Roman Reigns shouldn't be on this list.
I'd argue Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn probably deserved it over Roman Reigns.
You want to put like I'm fine with Cena being on. He's third, right? I'm fine with Cena being on here because when Cena came in, he sold a shit ton of tickets. Muda you could put on here because Muda like sold a shit ton of tickets for that last hurrah. Roman Reigns does like the business does well around him. It's not him like lifting everything up. It is Cody. Cody should have won this. Dave has I don't know what Dave has this hard on about Roman Reigns and that Roman Reigns should be like the top guy because he's not the top guy. That company was doing nothing, and then Cody showed up, and everything, like they were starting to do better, and then Cody came in, and then they got a lot better, a lot faster. So I do not understand this at all. I will not. I don't get it, but whatever. And then he's not really explained it other than like Dave speak about
because I said so. That's
yeah.
Well, because the voters kept screwing it up for years, so he just was like,
I know. I mean, I get why he does it this way, but but
he's wrong this time, man. He's wrong.
Cody helped the house show business. Cody is whatever. I'm done.
I put Mystico over Roman too. I know y'all like, man, get off Mystico's nuts.
No, I agree with that.
He beat Drew Business though.
Drew Business, man.
Most improved Julia Hart. Number 2, Dom Mysterio.
He's not better though. He's just all he's doing.
He's just over. He's just over more. He's not better.
Like, all he's doing
is he over more or is his shtick over more?
The shtick is over more.
Yeah,
like, we can boo him.
I feel like he does a good job of being terrible. You know what I mean?
Right.
But in terms of being better, he himself is not better. That's weird. That's weird. Yeah, Julia Hart's a good choice, but for me, Mariah May, bro, like far and away. When I first saw Mariah May, she was bad. Like she's in stardom around some of the greatest women on earth, and she stuck out like a sore thumb because she was terrible. And now, when she got signed, that last promo she did where she was crying and telling everybody she was gonna miss her and miss her stardom and all that stuff. It moved me because I was gonna miss her. That's how much I turned the corner on Mariah May, man. Like she's 100% to me.
But how many
easily.
people? But how many people probably watched that? That's the problem. Like,
But I'm okay. That's fine. But I'm telling you what it is.
I understand. I'm just
She got
saying that
third.
that's why.
She got
That's why
third for
she's
some
third.
people now.
I would agree. I didn't even think about it until I saw her name, and I was like, oh yeah, she probably actually, deserves it. I mean,
She used
Julia
to
Hart
suck.
though came from
Like,
like.
she used
I mean,
to-
she was.
And she used to
I
suck.
know somebody who
Dude.
don't watch Stardom.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. Son of a bitch. But nah. She used to suck too. So yeah, I'm not mad at Julia.
Yeah,
winning at
and
all.
like
Not at all.
her whole presentation is like so good, and she gets it. And when you look like back from where she came from, and she gets it the way she does, is just crazy to me. So
Most charismatic MJF.
I'm fine with that.
Roman Reigns,
You know what?
Kento Miyahara,
Unfortunately-
Julia, Cody Rhodes.
Kento Miyahara. What? This 2023? No. Most charismatic?
Number 3.
He was like the third guy in the company. Like it wasn't. All right, man. That you know what that is? That's just I'm voting for someone I like. That's what that is. Like that's weird. Because he was like
A
third.
lot of people
it
must
was,
have agreed to be number 3.
That's weird because it was look Nakajima, Aoyagi, and then like him. That was like the pecking order. And that's weird. That's weird. Nah, that's weird. 3? All right, man.
Take a wild guess who won this one. The Bryan Danielson Best Technical Wrestler Award.
Oh, I wonder who it could be.
Deserved this time, though. I would say.
Yeah, of course.
I would. Yeah. He won't deserve. He'll win it. He'll win it for this year, and he probably shouldn't. That's the thing.
Yeah. Honestly, this year should probably be Zack Sabre Jr., but he's probably gonna win. Yeah. Where was Sabre on the list?
He's second.
He was second, of course. Who else gonna be above him?
How was
Josh
it?
Alexander got 17 votes, number 3 in the list.
17 votes, man.
And
The
we're
last
down
time-
to
The
500
last time
votes.
someone not Danielson or Sabre won this award was Chris Benoit
Chris Benoit, God
in
damn.
2004. That's the last
That's
time one of
crazy.
those two didn't win it.
Best Brawler, John Moxley, Ishii,
I
I
mean,
mean, yeah.
Rampage. I mean, the usual
I
suspects.
personally probably go with Hangman, but I'm all right with that. I'm fine with that.
Best Flying, Vikingo again. Will Ospreay, number 2.
He don't do that stuff no more though.
He's not. That's
Well-
reputation. That's reputation.
Phoenix got number 3. Most overrated, Sonata, number 1.
I agree with
I
that.
don't know how you can argue this.
Yeah.
He sucked as champion. Absolutely sucked as champion.
Oh, I got
The
an argument
thing
for
is-
this one.
What?
What is it?
He carries a stick.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
go away.
man! Oh my god! Oh my God. But no, Sonata winning in a vacuum is okay if he loses it rather quickly. He didn't. That's why he won the award. Like if he would have lost it 2 months later, let's 3 months later, he held it for most of the year.
If he had lost it right before the G1 or right after the G1,
It would have
Fine.
been okay.
fine. But
It would have been fine.
but no.
Oh man. Oh,
Reigns, number 2. Punk, number 3.
That's
That's just
MJF.
people being mad. That's just people. being
MJF,
mad.
Tyrus is 4. MJF is 5.
I don't think Roman. Honestly, I don't think Roman should be here. I mean, granted he didn't wrestle much, but when he did wrestle, it
Yeah.
was impactful.
They
know
just
what I mean?
think he's they just think he's overpushed.
Overpushed.
They're not.
That's
yeah,
what
it's
the
not-
reward is, over pushed.
I mean, I know, but
The honorable
Yeah.
mention, 14 votes. Bianca Belair. What have they done to this woman that she is on the most overrated list? That's
They
crazy.
WWE'd her. That's what they did.
That's crazy.
They WWE'd her. That's what they did.
man,
My first time seeing that. That's nuts. That's wild. Most underrated, Chad Gable, Takeshita, Daniel Garcia,
cool,
Mike
right?
Bailey, Suji.
Suji, Yoda Suji, no,
Number 5.
underrated, no.
I think Garcia. like was doing like some good things at the end of 2022, like with the Bryan Danielson feud in AEW, and it kind of felt like all of 2023 was kind of just there. And now they're kind of trying to do it again after the building off the Continental Classic. So I do kind of get that one because it seemed like it was a missed opportunity where we kind of just wasted 10 months furthering his arc from where it was.
And Chad Gable cannot be underrated if everyone keeps saying he's underrated.
He's good.
But
He can't be underrated.
But it's underpushed.
Yeah, but take Chad Gable. You think Chad Gable is like I love.
He should not be pushed.
But like he shouldn't be pushed. Like he's a hell of a wrestler. But come on, like
you're not angling to see him in main events or anything like that.
Exactly. Like no one. Yeah. Come on, it's Chad Gable. He's cool. I like him a lot, but no.
Honorable mention: Ricky Starks got 12 votes. Natalia got 8.
Natalia?
What?
That's what I'm worried about. Was that Mike Santana 7?
I can kind of get that.
Were those all from Mike Santana voting in?
It could be. Same thing with Mal Black got 6 votes.
Nah, I can see he's got fans.
Well, why was Ricky Starks underrated? He was like all over the television for most of the year.
Because
like,
those are people that want him to be like a singles champion. That's the thing.
But like now, like
yes,
in 2023,
yes,
that's wild. Daniel was
doesn't make any sense, kid.
Strange, and I like Starks, but
those are the people that every time he loses or every time like something happens, they're like, oh well, he's going to WWE. Oh well, that means he's going to WWE. It's those people.
Callis wins best non-wrestler.
I'm fine with that.
Man, that should have been Nana.
He got number 3. Paul Heyman got number 2.
Nana
is Paul Heyman still good?
No.
I mean, it just seems like he's just doing the same thing.
He's doing the same. See, here's the thing. If you've watched Paul Heyman for a long time, he's in like complete coaster mode.
Cruise control, yeah.
He's just
call Roman Reigns. That's just so lame, bro.
Like that's not even like how he used to do the gimmick. That was the thing. Like he would be on the phone talking like super fast. He was supposed to be like the Wall Street dude with the.
Callis is good, but he takes up too much TV time, especially in 2023. And whereas Nana, like Swerve himself said that Nana helped get his act more over. And so like when it's contributing to a rising star like that, I feel like you should give that more credit rather than Callis just being there to do with Jericho and Kenny.
Josh, I just noticed something. You're right about that. The Paul Heyman thing. Why does he not just talk for Roman? Why does Roman talk at all? That's what Paul used to do. That was the whole thing. I represent my client Sabu, and Sabu's gonna. That's what he used to do. Like
I know. I don't.
But none of them were on the level of Roman Reigns. So,
right.
World champion, top guy in the company, he should probably say.
But if
something.
you got Paul Heyman, though, what for? Brock Lesnar used to stand there.
But Brock eventually started talking a little bit.
Yeah.
Man, look, we heard Roman talk. I'm not saying Roman can't. Roman's improved a lot as a talker, but Paul Heyman's right there.
But honestly, at this point, I would rather hear Roman to break up the monotony of hearing the same Heyman promo for the last 2 or 3 years. You know what I mean? Television and best television.
To criticize Paul Heyman, man, but you might be right. I ain't gonna lie.
Excalibur wins best television announcer over Ian Riccaboni, Kevin Kelly, Nigel, Chris Charlton.
Because WWE announcing sucks. That's one thing we didn't talk about on the Elimination Chamber.
Hey, Cole got number 6.
He's better, but
best announcer.
Fuck. Like I listen.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes he's good though. Sometimes he is.
Sometimes he's good, but at least we didn't have Roman on this show on Elimination Chamber for him and to
go through all his accomplishments.
All the accomplishments to pretend he's like a super baby face. Oh my god, that annoys me.
That shit is so weird to me.
Last WWE win was Jim Ross in 2012, not counting NXT. Jim Ross in 2012.
Like the way Michael Cole should handle it every time Roman comes out, and let me tell you what this evil monster has been doing in this cut. That's how he should handle it instead of going.
He should not talking about
this record. Yeah, that's weird.
He broke this record, but how did he break? That should be you should be like he broke this record, but he didn't do it in the right way. That's how you do it. You don't pretend he's the second coming of Hulk Hogan.
Chris Charlton is like one of the best in the game at that. Like someone comes down the aisle and he goes, and let me tell you, because he used to do it all the time for Jay White. And let me tell you what this evil bastard. Him and Kevin Kelly, yeah, you did it, but who did you step on to get there?
I will say,
man.
I do probably like Riccaboni more than Excalibur for this award.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and like Riccaboni, like if I remember correctly, Riccaboni called that 2 out of 3 falls FTR. He was awesome that whole match. So like, I guess it's an exposure thing, but Excalibur cramming.
I'm always gonna vote for Excalibur on principle, just because you know how I feel about him personally. But I'm with you. I feel you.
Next week we got Orange Cassidy defending the title, and the week after that we still got that.
You're talking too slow.
Worst television announcer, Booker T.
Yeah, sure. Yes. He should not be on TV.
Listen, all right, listen. I'm not saying he's good. I'm not saying because he's not, but he's the most entertaining thing about NXT. Like, he's so funny. He's so bad it's good. He's so bad it's good. He doesn't know who anyone is. He just yells shit. He plugs his stuff. I love it, man. He's so funny, man. Because he's like, if I had to do that job, that's what Booker T does. Like if they asked me to do that job, that's what you guys would see what Booker T does. So yeah, I love it, man. It's bad though. It is bad.
Best major show, AEW got 4 of the 5. Revolution, Forbidden Door, All In, Night 1 of WrestleMania Saturday, and then All Out.
I mean, Night 1 of WrestleMania was legitimately one of the
good.
best WWE shows in forever. So
one of the best ever. Like one of the best.
I would put that over All In.
All in. Like I find All In hard to rate because like it has like not just the atmosphere, but like also like you know the build up to it, like all our excitement about what it could be. Even if like Josh said, it could be better this year. I feel like it kind of exists in its own space, different from those other work rate AEW.
I think it was more WrestleMania than WrestleMania in some ways.
It's a good point. It's a good point. They did.
Worst
hey,
show.
Wait. Hold on. Because all right. So I know stuff is underrepresented. The Champion Carnival Final wasn't on there.
Champion Carnival Final is
not on there. Man, what about All-Star Grand Kingdom?
That is number 6.
Yeah, that's
okay. All right, cool. All right, I'm fine then.
Worst show, Crown Jewel. What was on that show?
That was Roman and LA Knight.
Oh,
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I think by default the Saudi Arabia shows like always get this every year.
Yeah.
Just because they're bad and people don't want them to do the shows.
Number 2 is NWA. I can even say Sam Hain.
Oh, that's the cocaine.
This was
cocaine.
the show. Yeah.
It cost them the TV deal.
World's End, Fastlane, and then
I don't see how World's End is on this list.
Expectations and standards.
And then one of the Triple Mania shows.
You can put all them bitches on there. You put all of them on there.
That's probably the show that didn't have at least one great match on it, though, because usually they have at least one that's.
That's true. That is true.
Or they have one that has like a legit spectacle, even if it's not great. So
that's a good point.
Maneuver, Hidden Blade. I mean, who cares? They're all fun.
I love that move
though. Most disgusting promotional tactic. I think we can all understand what that
Vince
is.
McMahon.
Something with Vince, right?
Yeah.
I
mean, it's Vince, Saudi Arabia, right?
Saudi, NWA, the spot on the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Power slap after Dana slaps his wife on TMZ.
Jesus.
AEW signing Flair. AEW Juice Robinson using the roll of quarters. TKO ignoring.
Here's my thing. I don't think the Vince thing is like really a promotional tactic, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think people just were upset about it. Well, they did bring him back out. They did bring him when he came back. They did.
No, but like the year
that
before,
was 2022 though.
Yeah, and that did win in 2022. Not the scandal itself, but the fact that he was on SmackDown and they promoted it.
Yeah, like
Vince McMahon coming out and getting a big pop the day sexual misconduct charges.
This time it wasn't really like a promotional tactic. He was just.
It sounds so bad.
Yeah.
Like imagine doing this in any other like non-wrestling thing. It's crazy.
I get a kick. Number 9, WWE. The most disgusting promotional tactic. Number 9, WWE hiring CM Punk.
What? Why?
Yes, just because people were just.
Oh man, I was dying when I saw that.
What's disgusting about that? Smart.
The same reason why they voted him for most overrated.
They don't like him.
I mean, I don't like him, but that's.
I don't like him either.
Yes.
It's weird.
Worst TV show, NWA Power.
Not
Raw,
even close.
NXT.
Yeah, that's not even close. That show should win every year, with the exception of WoW. Should be.
Remember how cool it was when it first
WoW.
came out?
Huh?
But Power? Yeah, Power was
Yeah.
a lot of fun when it first started. It was different. The talent was actually good. Now nobody's left, and the show's really not that different anymore. It's just bad. It's not a good show, man.
I saw a lot of discourse on this one. Worst match of the year: Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight.
I know it's uncomfortable to say because he's not here anymore.
It happened though,
Bray
man.
Wyatt.
We're not
But the
saying
match
anything bad about
happened.
him. It just happened, and he was not the only person in that match.
No.
There was someone else in that match.
No,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I didn't watch that. I haven't seen that match, but I have no intention of it. But everyone said it was just.
It wasn't good.
I
Even the
watched
clips I've seen is like it was not good.
I watched it with a non-fan, just by pure chance, and I never do that, and that's what they saw. It was rough.
Is that one of
man.
those? This is not why I watched this.
Yeah, like having
You had to explain. You had to explain. It's not usually like this, I promise.
This is bad. I promise.
AEW dominated the last 4 spots. Cole versus Jericho from Double or Nothing.
that wasn't that.
Jeff Jarrett versus Jeff Hardy. I think that was wasn't that the Texas Chainsaw match?
Yeah, that's
That
with
was
the Texas Chainsaw guy coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Abaddon versus Julia Hart from the
Okay,
pay-per-view.
yeah, that should be on the list.
And then Cole versus MJF, all in.
Oh yeah, that should be on the
The
list.
most
That
polarizing match in history, man. Well, one of them. We saw the most polarizing match in history a couple weeks ago, but this is one of because I know people that love that match, man. That MJF and Adam Cole
Good match,
Nah, bro.
bro. Well, we could do it now, or we could do it in the next category. But like, look, the MJF Cole thing in the summer was very hot. It was very over. It drew TV ratings all the goddamn time. It outdrew.
yes, but then they did that stupid match, and then
I'm
that
aware.
killed it. And it killed it.
I'm just saying, like, the attack that we have on MJF, comedy, and AEW, the whole feud is, I understand, like, after All In, that's one thing. But what they had in the summer was over to the AEW audience, was drawing ratings constantly. To say it's not what the AEW fans want, I don't think is accurate.
No, I think they were fine with it.
They were giving no. I got it. I got this.
Okay.
They were giving it the benefit of the doubt because of the goodwill that company had drew with the fan base. All in, they jumped the shark, kid, and you know they jumped the shark. I don't know why.
I do agree. Look, even though I did like the match, I do agree they jumped the shark. And then from that point forward, everything got worse. It was a lot worse when MJF was a full-on face, rather than the ambiguity of how they would do the turn, how they would do the tournament.
Look,
The turn needed to happen at All
that.
In, and then
I'm with you to that point. Absolutely. Like at first, it was like, oh, this is different. Let's give this a shot. I'm with you on that. It's just my issue started. All my problems came in the moment All In happened. I was like, all right, man, what are we doing here? And then the whole product changed.
the
after All
ice
In.
cream went sour at All In.
Exactly. That was the moment I was like, bro, this
They
is
had him on the pre-show, winning the tag titles, and they come
Yes.
back and in the main event. Yeah.
Beating
No, you
Ozzy
win it.
Open
No,
to win
you
those
win
tag
it. No,
titles.
you win it. What are we fucking doing?
The match, I
Is
thought,
this
was,
all you care about? The world title? Yes, motherfucker. This is all I care about. What? What about our friendship, man? Fuck the friendship. This is the world title.
This is what I would say. If you had a match like peak Horseman, you had a match between Ric Flair and Arn Anderson, what would that match look like? There's
Wouldn't
even
be
if-
that.
even if you did it for comedy, and they could do stuff for comedy, there you go. So
Worst promotion, NWA.
yeah,
You're not even close.
Triple A, WWE. Control your narrative.
control your narrative.
Are they still in business?
no, but I
No.
think they ran
Like they didn't
a
run any
show.
shows last year, right?
Yeah, I think they ran like
I
one
think
or two shows.
early 20. I think in
Yeah.
early 2023.
Damn.
Yeah.
Best Booker, Paul
But
Levesque.
you skip worst feud of the year.
Worst feud? We were talking about it.
Oh well. What was you didn't do like the second and third that we had been doing.
Oh no, yeah, MJF and the Devil, Outcast versus the Originals, Tyrus versus EC3.
And they were all bad. That's
Yeah.
all.
Oh, Tyrus versus. Oh my God, I can't believe NWA thought that was gonna do anything. Like, who wants to see that shit, man?
Well, they thought that they would get his Fox fans to watch the
Nobody
shows,
watched.
and that didn't
Nobody
work.
watched.
And none of them watched the show. You know what's wild? Probably more people voted for NWA than actually watched the product every week.
I'm
which is
sure.
crazy.
I'm sure they were
I'm
just
sure.
kind of looking like the same thing with Worst Promotion. They were like, oh, let's look down the list. NWA's not doing well, so we'll go with them.
I think the devil feud, because I'm watching some of those Dynamites from that era now. Like, it's not as bad when you know what happens. Like, at the time, there was like all this ambiguity and uncertainty of where it was going to go, and the story was just too long, and it was weird without Cole. And yes, there was the weird. I mean, but the comedy stuff that people complained about at MJF was less so in the.
You
devil.
went back and watched it?
No, some of those Dynamites I haven't seen yet, and I'm just like excited
Gotcha.
for Evolution. So I'm watching like the Dynamites in particular between Full Gear and World's End, like where the Continental Classics matches are happening. All the stuff around it, I didn't get to see it.
Gotcha.
So it's not like the comedy stuff is really not that much in the devil part of that feud. It's really like
No,
Roderick
the
Strong
comedy
and
the
Adam
comedy
Cole
had
and
pretty much they had started to like change it a little bit.
I think it would have been better if Cole didn't get hurt and if it
Yes.
wasn't like 3 months long. But it was just too long. From September 26th to World's End, insanity.
Somebody in the comments in the chat says, "How's WWE third for worst promotion but first for best?" Different voters.
Yes.
Some people voted for best, and some people
Right.
voted for
We'll get into
worst.
MJF won
That's
most
what-
charismatic.
It's like when people talk about how did WWE invert the best promotion, but Dynamite
All the different
and-
shows.
Yes,
were
and I'm
best,
like,
worst.
here's the thing, and I will give WWE this. I think week to week they do book better. The problem is that it doesn't lead to anything. Brian Alvarez went on this big long rant on their show, him and Dave, about the fact that people forget that NXT was boring too. I was like, yes, NXT was boring and predictable, but at the same time, you had those great takeovers. You're not getting those. I don't see anyone like jumping up and down talking about how great the pay-per-views have been since WrestleMania. Not at all. So I think that's a really that's not. But I think week to week, I think because of the way WWE does things with like the subtle hammer, that they do book better. Where I think Tony sometimes has a tendency to, at least it looks like he forgets about things, and you're not going to get with that with WWE because at least they're gonna pound you over the head with what's going on. And I think
because Tony, like the booking happens up here, and sometimes he forgets to tell us what's up here.
right. So I think you can definitely say that's where WWE is better at booking, is that week to week booking. But I think once you get to the pay-per-views, everything kind of comes better. So
best booker, Paul Levesque.
I'm fine with that. I think just because everyone else sucked except for who did they say was the booker in CMLL?
If you believe it's Panico, then Panico.
Yeah.
If you believe it.
Because it's like what do you do? It's like trying to give Booker of the Year to the All Japan guy. Like, what do you?
Yeah, like that was my who's ever responsible for booking All Japan Pro Wrestling. So I think it's Ishikawa, but no one really knows.
Right.
And you know what? I was talking about this with the guy I work with. You know what? If the last like 2 months didn't happen, it would have been Rossi Ogawa for me, but that happened. So yeah. Triple H is fine.
Shawn Michaels number 7.
No,
Man, that's funny, right? Ain't that funny?
Seven is pretty low. Like,
Yeah. And
He shouldn't be
all I
on
heard about
the list.
all I heard was how great he was all year. Number 7, that's funny to me.
I mean, yeah.
Number 6, Ghetto. Damn, he almost beat Ghetto. Damn. Promoter of the year, Nick Khan.
Fine with
Yeah.
that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Best gimmick, Tony Storm.
I don't even know who you would, but not her. That's just
Ooh.
no.
All right, who's the choices? Who's who
Cage,
makes up
Cassidy, The Bloodline, The Brochachos, LA Knight, Mysterio, Dom Mysterio, that is.
Did you say
Swerve and Cody tied, and then you got Nakajima at 10.
It's Cody's gimmick.
You know what? You know how awesome that Nakajima gimmick is? He only did it for like the last 3 weeks of the year. It's just that good. He got votes. That's awesome, man.
But that's-
Y'all know he can't do it anymore.
Yeah,
He can't do it anymore. They threatening to sue.
But that gimmick was awesome.
Awesome, man.
Especially doing it in all Japan. I mean, that's
It's amazing, bro. It's just amazing.
even though they're so removed from that, they're so removed from that legacy, really, that it was still hilarious.
What a dick, man. I love that dude so much, man. I love him so much.
I was the Tony stuff was hot. It was cool at first. Like
Sucks.
especially
I really did enjoy it at first.
I liked
really
it when it was like surface level stuff,
Yeah.
not like in your face.
it's
But the
like,
issue is her matches have regressed ever since she's had
Yes.
this gimmick, and that's what fucking sucks for me. Is that her matches have gotten worse.
also that
This is
black
a
and white
phenomenal
thing.
wrestler. You know what I mean?
That's so worst gimmick, the devil.
I mean,
does that even really
I'm
count?
with that.
The devil didn't cut promos. Like the devil didn't have matches. Like why? Like I don't know.
People, that's just
Hey, I'm sure Sister Abigail probably won one of these, and did they do anything? Like, did they make any? Yep, Sister Abigail in 2017. Mhm.
yeah. When didn't he show up as Sister Abigail?
Yeah, but he dressed up as Sister Abigail, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Didn't MJF dress up as the devil?
True.
Or that's no Adam Cole?
No,
I don't even know.
Cole
I don't
dressed
care.
up.
But the whole thing sucked. QTV, Tony Storm, number 3.
No,
House of Torture.
QTV is what should have won. That was dirt worst.
House of Torture,
Okay.
Outcast, Abaddon, Roderick
Oh
Strong.
my God. Hey man, can we not too much on House of Torture, man? Yeah. When they're not pushed, they're fine, bro. Like
Okay. I'm
Hey.
home.
You're home.
Hey, you're here to talk about the last 2 awards that no one really cares about.
You already talked about everything else?
Yeah.
yeah, man.
God damn it.
You want to talk about Sting?
What? What about him?
Just in general, how do you feel, man?
Well, I haven't said this publicly, but my mom passed in November. It was really shocking, and what got her back into wrestling was Sting showing up in AEW, and it was really fun watching Dynamite with her every week. And I just felt this throwing phone over there because it's echoing. Immense pull to be in Greensboro to see this. Cactus Jack versus Sting, Beach Blast 92. It's a great match. Sting was a lot better than he got credit for. Like, if somebody could work, he could be with them. But if they didn't know how to work, you'd get stuff like Hogan and Starrcade 97. But he was just awesome, charismatic, really what every star should be. And a lot more giving than a lot of them have been in the past. But, yeah, I can't wait to be there.
You think you think him and Darby are winning, or you think the Bucks are winning?
Well, I would think that FTR is going to beat BCC and then the Bucks win.
FTR, and then you do FTR and the Bucks.
Yeah.
Now because now it's different. Now with the Bucks.
Yeah, now it's
it's
different.
different.
Fair.
It's not just, hey, we're having 3 matches. It's different. So
That's fair. That's fair. I didn't think about it that way.
and you can throw Mark Briscoe into that mix too. That's the thing, which will get people probably a little bit more excited about it.
All right, y'all go with those last 2 awards. What are they?
Huh?
What do y'all got
The
left?
book and the doc.
The book and the
Do anyone care?
I didn't know.
I didn't read any
We
books.
always
didn't
skip
watch-
this one. We always skip this
I
one.
didn't. Well, no, I want to talk about because
Voice of Wrestling, right?
the
You wanna
Voice
talk
of
about
Wrestling one was awesome.
Too bad I'm talking about it.
Okay.
No, I'm not talking about it. Are you kidding me?
Which I would say anybody that really wants like a good history of ECW anyways, even though it's going to take him forever to get
Long.
through everything,
Yeah.
the Joe Lanza stuff on the
We're gonna
Patreon.
be dead and gone by the time you get to the end of everything. Like
This is
he's,
so
he's still on 94, right? Is he on 94?
No, I think he just got to 94, right?
That's
think
crazy, bro. Never gonna get to the end of this shit.
It's like I'm just like get to 96. Just get to 96.
Yeah, man, just skip all this stuff. Just get to 96. Get to just get to 95. Get to with Todd Gordon left. Just get there.
Did you do a Jade Cargill rant?
I did. You can do one.
You already probably said what I was.
I don't know what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I don't know what you're gonna say either.
You know what I was gonna say?
No.
I'm pretty sure that Jade Cargill knows how to take a bump for Hurricane Rana. I'm pretty sure Jade Cargill knows how to take a fucking corner. I'm pretty sure Jade Cargill wouldn't look like lost in the headlights like fucking Nia Jax did at that fucking God. I hated that fucking match. But it's like so what? She can't remember choreography. She can actually work. Is that a crime? Is that a crime to know how to be able to go in the ring and do a match without having to practice it for 3 days? Is that a problem?
Yes, because that's not how they train their women.
Oh God, it's such bullshit.
That's
actual sexism, by the way. That is actual sexism.
They don't. No, I went on a rant about the fact that I don't understand why they think she can't work, and yet you have this big long. You have they're top 5 women in WWE, in ring,
like especially
AEWs.
that fucking elimination chamber of Naomi and Becky going in slow motion, and I was just like, really?
Oh, you watched the show too? Damn.
Yes, I watched it. I had plans to be here. Then I was like, oh fuck, I'm stupid. Can I run this from my phone? And lo and behold, yes, I can. I can host a stream from my fucking phone. It's crazy. 2024 is crazy.
2024 is wild.
Yeah. Y'all didn't have to get that asshole to host it this time.
I don't even know the joke.
Yeah, I don't know. That seems like a them thing.
Hey, Sean Spears showed up at NXT. How excited are you?
Okay. Whatever.
Anyway, so y'all were done? Y'all are wrapping this up anyway?
Yeah.
We're done? All right.
Tim Tonga's going to WWE. It's very exciting.
Sure it is. Kid, you got any final thoughts? You're almost 30 and we're still calling you kid.
We talked about that before the show went live.
Well, I didn't hear any of that, okay?
Yeah. Turn 30 next week.
Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
Yeah.
You're old as fuck.
No, Revolution, I'm genuinely sad I can't be there. I was supposed to be there with my college roommate. I'm glad that you guys are going. Hope you guys have a good time. I will be at Double or Nothing. I go to Double or Nothing every year now. It's a great time. I highly recommend anyone. If you've never seen Anarchy in the Arena, you got to be there live. It's not quite the same on TV. It's really special being there.
You know what?
Live.
They should just
Is
do
it-
Samoa
is it-
Joe
is it
versus
good
Kazuchika
being there
Okada
live?
carrying Anarchy
Yes.
in the Arena.
It
Just
is
singles Anarchy in the Arena.
You can do it. It is good being there live because the whole crowd feels like part of the ring, and like it's just a different atmosphere. Especially when that music's always playing at the start. It's great, and you can still close with Joe Okada.
Wait,
just like they do with Punk Hangman.
So you were there? You were there when Eddie Kingston tried to set Chris Jericho on
Chris
fire?
Jericho on fire? Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
that!
it is.
Oh, you son of a bitch! Oh man,
That shit was cool because the Heat had like just lost in the Eastern Conference Finals right before that match started. I was streaming it on my phone.
That was the one that Tony was like, "You got time? You can order
Yes.
the pay-per-view at like 11 o'clock at night." Yeah, because he was worried about that basketball game.
Because I skipped through like the match right before, and then right when the game ended was like right when that match started. Like it was almost like timed intentionally, as you said. And yeah, no, that shit was cool. And then the next year, if you watch last year's match, when Claudio comes up the ramp with Nick Jackson, they kind of like get in my face in the section a little bit. It was awesome. It's a great time. Highly recommend.
Back.
Because a lot of times when you do like crowd brawls, it's not great being there live because you can't see.
I guess but when you have good seats, though, like at least for both of the matches the last 2 years, like I can really get a sense of where everyone was going. And I feel like in the TV, we're constantly cutting between like the concessions and the outside. Like I don't know, like it doesn't feel. I didn't like either match the same when I watched it on replay versus being there live. So yeah, hopefully more people go to Double or Nothing, but have fun at Revolution. Revolution should be the start of a new trend in AEW over the next few months.
Well, it's been
Fucking dog, man.
I hate to say this. It's been 17 fucking years that I'm finally meeting Mark Hamm in person.
Oh yeah.
Did you not go to Atlanta?
No,
get-
that's when my
Okay, I'm sorry, man. It's a
that's
long
when my
time.
uncle had the seizure, and they made me stay home.
That's right.
And then he lost the tickets that we.
That's right.
That was the United States Postal Services. That was not my fault.
And the very little envelope that he sent it in.
Y'all
Hold
got
on,
there in
licked
the
it.
end. Y'all got
What?
there in the end. Y'all got there.
What happened? I don't know what happened. What
They
happened?
lost the tickets.
I
You
did
know,
not
the
lose the
tickets.
tickets. I mailed them.
ROH lost the
He
tickets.
mailed them to me, and I got it, and it was an envelope with nothing in it.
Oh,
There's a little
shit.
envelope. He put the tickets in there.
And then how did they have the tickets though? That's
Because
what I'm
somebody
lost.
found the tickets in mail and mailed it to the venue,
Build it to the venue.
and we didn't know
that's-
until we got there.
So the head of security guy for ROH, that was always the head of security guy, comes up and is like, "Where are you guys? Where's he from?" And it was your post office that they found them, and then they
Oh my
mailed them to
God.
the venue. So
You talk about lucky. That's crazy.
because
I
he
would've-
was like,
I would've
for
called.
real, where he's from, and so Brandon had to call Chase while we were standing there.
Yeah. So yeah,
And
you'll get to
then-
meet each other. That's dope.
And then when I got the Cornette book, he wrote like if I had it down here, I'd show you. He's got like a paragraph of crap that he wrote in that book when he autographed it because of what happened the night before with us trying to get into the show.
Oh, this is before Cornette was a lunatic.
Yes.
Well, he was. He just wasn't.
Yeah, he wasn't.
He was. He just was.
He hadn't gotten pissed off at the Bucks and Kenny yet. So
Because he hated comedy, and we used to defend AEW and criticize him. And now we're kind of turning the other way and saying comedy in AEW is bad, and I don't really understand why.
Oh
God.
God.
Shut up.
because the
You know
comedy
what?
was good comedy.
Okay, yes, let's say
Oh,
that.
he's gonna knock him out. Don't knock him out.
Good comedy is good.
I'm not doing that.
Good comedy is good. Bad comedy is bad. Not all comedy.
It can't dominate the show. It can't be in the world title
There you
picture.
go.
It can't dominate the show. It can't make the rest of the show suffer because of the focus on this.
Yes.
I can take some comedy, no problem, but it can't be like that again. No way.
Good middle ground.
All right. Well, since we got to review a show next week,
Oh yeah.
it's not going to be 2 weeks this time, people. It's going to be. It's been 1 week.